All right, on my little YouTube motherfuck faces. You're watching Validation Boy live stream, December 7th, 2024. We've been joined from across the pond for an intercontinental visit from the Scottish sportsman, GED Skeptic Media. He's a Scottish sportsman.
Great to be here, mate. Good to see you.
And he's got the fresh haircut, looking fine as fuck, as all the ladies would say.
Well, I had to, man, because I've got another job interview. Remember, I told you I quit my postman job.
I don't know. I mean, what about Postman Pat? How would he feel about this?
Oh, he'd be disappointed in me, man. But I couldn't. It wasn't like I had this fucking naive thing in my head. It would be like Postman Pat. I'd have the cat sitting beside me, going through the countryside, thinking it was fucking great. But nah, man, I was doing like 12.5 miles a day walking, and I was managing, man, because I'm quite a fit guy. So I was getting used to it. I was like, right. But then when it came to my days off, everybody was getting a day off. I was getting my day off, but when it comes to it was like it's called a lapse. So if you get the Monday off one week, you get the Tuesday off the next week, you get the Wednesday off the next again week, you get the Thursday off the next again week, and then when you get the when you get the Saturday off, you're supposed to get the Monday off because it lapses to the next week, if you know what I mean.
So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or just Saturday and Monday?
Everybody gets the Sunday off. So if you get the Saturday off, your next again day off's on Monday the next again week.
That's 3 days.
So it's like a long weekend.
Yeah.
Right? So my manager, who was a woman, wasn't giving me it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, where's my long weekend here? And she was like, oh, you're reserve. I was like, reserve? Like, what the fuck is that? And she's like, oh, like, I decide when you get your day. I was like, oh, do you know? I says, well, I never signed a contract to be reserve. So make this my last day. And she was like, oh, could you? This was on a Friday. And she had the cheek to turn around and say, oh, could you come in tomorrow? I was like, nah, this is my last day. Fuck off. You know what I mean? And that was that.
Is it because you were new? So you have to pay, your dues for it? Why don't you just tough it out?
What was that?
Why don't you just tough it out for a couple months or whatever it is?
Oh, I don't know, man. I was already getting a bit pissed off with it, because I was doing the worst routes as well, because I wasn't the new guy. They were putting me on the shittiest routes that nobody wanted to do. The longest routes, the most houses to deliver to. And at first I was on the high street, so the guy who was showing me how you get like a guy that shows you how to do it to begin with. And he was showing me how to do it at the start, like one side to the other. And then another guy showed me how to do it the other way. So I was doing it back to front. And I was like, what the fuck? And then, honestly, mate, the Royal Mail, I've got their heads up their arse. Everything's back to front. And I was just like, the fuck? This is all over the place. I can't be bothered with this fucking... It was just chaos. It was like organized chaos. And everybody kind of knew what they were doing, but it was all over the place. You know what I mean? It was... So I was like, fuck this. So I've got a job interview on Wednesday. This is why I'm all fresh cut and freshly manicured for bus driving. I'm going to drive a bus.
I thought about doing that exact same thing too, man. I gotta get what they call a CDL, commercial driver's license, to be able to do that.
We have to get something similar, but they give you the training. So I get 5 weeks training, paid. And I get paid, and then once I start, my wages go up. And it's better paid than the Royal Mail as well, so it could be like a blessing in disguise kind of thing, eh? So yeah, it's just the way shit goes now. I'm getting too old to get fucked around, VB. I'm at that age now where I'm like, and I'm 42 now. I'm not getting. And the manager was probably like maybe younger than me. You know what I mean? Like trying to boss me around. I'm not trying to be funny. It was a lassie, and she was pretty attractive. So she had all these other guys running a bit for her, kind of like. And I'm married, and I'm fuck off, and I'm no bothered. She can't flap her eyelashes at me. I mean, so I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm not dealing with this shit.
Was she a big girl or a small girl?
She was quite petite, but she was sort of like she kind of looked mixed race, like she had a sort of mixed race, but she was pretty. She had big titties, and she was quite attractive, but I see through that shit now, and it doesn't really work with me now. I'm too old for that shit, and so, so like I said, life goes on, mate.
Especially when you know that it's all bullshit and that the woman is trying to use or expects people to obey her because of her looks. That's fucking, that shit is annoying, man. That shit annoys me. Whenever I come across females like that in a professional setting, I kind of go out of my way to make sure that they understand that, hey, that shit don't work with everybody. Yeah, I let them get their feelings hurt a little bit, but nothing that I can get in trouble for, but just kind of put it out there. Yeah,
I was trying to go in with a kind of fresh, I would get pissed off at the end of the day, but I'd tell myself, right, Jed, today was a shitty day. Tomorrow's fresh day. Can go back in, positive attitude, keep smiling, can keep going through it. And I was, but that sort of day off thing, this whole lapse, when I was meant to, everyone else was getting a long weekend, but I wasn't. It's because I was a new guy. And I was like, nah, fuck this. I never signed up for this shite. So.
Now, the other guys, when they talk to the supervisor, are they just fully simps?
Oh, definitely. They're doing overtime and everything for the women. And the on my first day, my coach, is it like a coach that shows you how to do the rounds and shit like that? He was telling me how he fancies her, and this is a married guy, and he's older. He was older than me. He must be like close to 50-year-old. And he was telling me how, if I never done what she asked me to do, that the place would fall apart. And he's one of these guys who thinks that, if it wasn't for him, the place would crumble. And you know what I mean? He's such a simp, and he was doing all this overtime. And I was thinking, here, mate, you're going to die. I said it to him. I said, you're going to die in this building, because every time I went back to the headquarters, he was there. I was like, do you ever go home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was just a total simp, mate. And he had a wife, kids, things like that. And he was simping for this manager.
So it's a 5-day work week there?
It was a 6-day.
6-day.
Oh, well, sorry, it was a 5. I'll lie, it was a 5-day, but like I said, you got every Sunday you got off. You didn't work on a Sunday, but like I said, you got a random day off through the week. Like I didn't know, I couldn't plan. Like I didn't know what day I was going to get off, really.
Because there's no pattern to it. There's no, like, you always get Wednesday, or you get Wednesday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Tuesday.
Well, I thought there was a pattern because everyone else had a pattern. Everyone had a rota, and I would look up and I'm like, right, so everyone, right, he's getting it. So that must be the same with me. But she was like, no, I decide when you get your day off. I was like, oh, do you now? You know what I mean? Well, fuck you. Do
you think she fancied you a little bit, and this was all just a test or anything like that? No.
I didn't think so, mate. I didn't think so.
I wonder if she's in a relationship with anybody.
Well, I heard she was married, but then she broke up, and she was going out with a guy at another postie somewhere else at another.
Oh, not local to you? Okay, yeah.
So
because she'd probably get in trouble for that, right? She couldn't date one of her underlings at her own place. Yeah.
So it was somewhere else, but it was still within the Royal Mail. You know what I mean? So the Royal Mail's fucked, mate. It used to be a beloved institution, 500 years. It's been going for, like, how many companies have been going for 500 years? It was, the Royal Mail was like a well-known institution in Britain. You know what I mean? It started like 500 years ago. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And I was actually I wasn't proud, but I was quite chuffed. I was working for, like a well-known company, and it's not the same as it used to be. That's what the old timers keep telling me. Oh, it's not the same as 20 years ago, again, because they used to finish and they were in the pubs for like 3 o'clock and stuff like that.
Yeah, because here's the thing, my mom, when I was, excuse me, man. Ooh, good shit. The house that I grew up in with my family, our next door neighbors, the wife, her name was Diane. Diane worked whatever odd jobs, The husband, he was a bread distributor. So he was doing good. He was distributing bread. He had his own truck, so he owned his own routes, and he was making good money. So his wife, she could do whatever job she wanted. So she would do whatever bullshit job. And one day she decided she wanted to get into the United States Postal Service. And she ended up getting in there. She was walking mail. She was a driver. She worked in office situations. She ended up in some kind of like office management position at the end. and she ended up being with the company for like 25 years, and then they automatically kick you out, but they set you up with a huge pension for the rest of your life.
Right.
And it's just crazy that this woman I grew up next to, she did a 25-year sentence in the fucking mail and got a massive pension and gets it every year. It blows my mind. So I've always considered doing that my whole life. But like you and me were talking on your show that one time, it's hard to even get the job unless you act like you're a non-binary fucking BIPOC and shit on your interview or on your application. And say things like, "Oh, I'd rather not reveal my gender. I'd rather not reveal my ethnicity," and all that shit. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? When I applied for the bus job that I'm got the interview on Wednesday for, I just unashamedly put Christian. So, what religion are you? I put Christian. Fuck it. Fuck it, Christian.
Nice.
And within like half an hour, I had an interview. I was like, fucking, that was quick. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So it's for driving the buses in this area. So I don't have to go far.
Like public transport or school transport? What are you talking about?
Public transport.
And how big are the are those called lorries? I guess. Would you call that a lorry? Not really.
No, they're no lorries. They're just big. You can get the double deckers. I don't know if you get them in Florida, like a 2-story bus.
There are some, but it's kind of, they're not like the classic traditional British style 2-story.
Like if you've seen the London bus, it's like one of them, kind of red, but it's not red through here. It's green.
Yeah,
your countryside.
You're confident to drive a double decker like that?
Well, I used to drive 3.5 ton, like Luton vans at my removal job, and they're pretty big, and you need to look at your swing and realize your space. When you're going around roundabouts and taking corners, you need to take a wee bit kind of wider than you would normally in a car. So
yeah. How many?
I would be confident in one of them.
How many meters tall were those box trucks that you were driving? The box lorry. 12 meters. No.
Meters.
Or feet. You know, how many feet or how many meters or whatever it is for you.
They're probably about
18, 20.
10, 12 feet tall, like something like that.
Probably.
They weren't massive. They weren't massive. They weren't like HGV, like heavy goods vehicles, but they were big enough. And they're big enough, mate. It's like the sort of, I don't know if you get the U-Haul over there, but with the tail lift, it's got a tail lift at the back, hydraulic tail lift, and big box, probably cubic feet wise, it's probably like 800 cubic feet. I'm not sure if you equivalent that in meters or whatever in America.
It's all feet, and I didn't think that you use feet over there.
We use feet, so it's about 800 cubic feet at the back.
Okay.
To 900 cubic feet, so they're a decent size. You can do a decent sized removal in them. But man, it's like I said, like I didn't care anymore. Like it's just a new chapter. I'm old enough. I've got qualifications. I've got a clean criminal. I've not got a criminal record or anything. I'm off the weed now. So again, the world's my oyster, mate. The world's my oyster. Yeah,
you're doing good. If you're in that situation where there's,
and I'm lucky because my missus, she's got a good job. She's a palliative care nurse, so she sees people on their way out, like people like on like with cancers and brain tumors, and she helps them. She makes them comfortable, let's say, before they go, kind of thing. She told me a story one time. There was a guy with a tumor coming out his head, like a brain tumor, but it was actually coming out. It was exposed. She was going every night, every day to see him, giving him his medication and stuff like that. And she turned up one morning, and he was actually in the process of dying, like coughing up blood, and they've got a little suitcase to pull out, and get an injection in the neck, just to see them out the door. Traumatizing stuff, but our fellow nurses said they'd never had to do that before, because usually the patient dies through the night. So when they turn up in the morning, they're usually dead, lying there. But my missus walked in, he was in the process, and he was like, God knows how long he could have choked there for, before he died, but he was going to die. And so
they just sedate him?
It's just like I don't know if it's a heavy morphine, or I'm not sure what's in the drug, but they've got a little case where they put in the neck, and just again, that's it. Again, it helps them go peacefully rather than painfully. So she's like the nurse of death.
She's the angel of death.
She turns up with the fucking like the Grim Reaper. They're like, oh fuck. You know you're fucked when she's at your door. But luckily enough, she does quite well again for us and our family, so she can support the house that we've got, and whilst I'm looking for a new job. Obviously, like it's harder getting to afford everything, but I'll not be at a job long, and I've never been one for signing on the dole or getting job seekers allowance, what you call over here. I don't know if you get that in America. Like,
yeah, they call it
welfare. Is it welfare checks or some shit? But I never even bothered to sign on or do any of that. I just thought I'll just look for another job right away and try and get myself. I didn't like sitting about being unemployed. Never been like that.
Yeah,
always worked. So
yeah, people that would rather be unemployed and get away with it are the kind of people that you just got to be truly a lazy piece of shit, kind of really, to be like that. You know, you got to be like a parasite and shit.
And plus, you've got to like live a very, very standard, simple life. Like you can't enjoy the finer things in life if you're just going to live off welfare or benefits. You can't enjoy holidays or the things that me and my son do. Like have to get fuel for my car, have to keep my car running and stuff like that. I couldn't keep my car running if I was on welfare or benefits.
And then while you and your son were out like this past weekend, I was watching you guys live. Do you guys stop somewhere along the way and sit down and eat in a restaurant?
Definitely. Every time we go to somewhere nice. Jed's quite spoiled that way, and he doesn't like shitty places either. So we won't stop at McDonald's. We'll go somewhere like a local little restaurant or something like that.
It was crazy seeing how tall he was in that video, man.
Oh, he's massive. He's got. I just got him new trainers for his Christmas. He's like size 10, which is 11 in America, I think. In 10 UK, I think they're 11 in America. I'm a 13, so that's like a 14 in the States. So I've got big feet as well, but he might be bigger than me, and so he's just under 6 foot. He must be about 5'11" or something like that. 5'10", 5'11" now.
You'll see how tall he really gets probably by the age of 25, right? 28.
He's only 15 now, so
I know. So he's got 10 more years till we really see how tall he really gets.
Aye, and he's chunky. He's a big boy.
Make him play basketball. Make him join for the NBA, man. I'm telling you, they want white European tall motherfuckers that are big and strong. Get him in there. Tell him just make a couple, $20 million real quick, and then pursue anything else you want to pursue. Yeah.
I wish he would be like that, but he's just not into sports or stuff like that. He wants to be like a minister and stuff. So
he likes people too much to be into sports. A lot of people that are super into sports enjoy competing because they want to be aggressive towards other people.
Mm-hmm. He's not like that. He's not competitive that way again. So, but life's good, mate. Life's still good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me tie in something I see over here. So OJ McBaggins is in here and saying for 20 years he couldn't get a job at Home Depot, which is a hardware store, a hardware goods store, and despite 20 years being a carpenter. And then he said, "Yeah, all because of a weed charge when I was 18 years old." Tell me about it, bro. So here's the thing. I had some, well, I don't know if I should say this. Let's just say 23 years ago there was some shit. 23 fucking years ago. And it was nothing like robbery or any kind of like violence or anything towards anybody. But on the other side, still a very serious offense and shit.
Right.
And it hasn't affected me all along. I've gotten all kinds of other jobs where I'm driving company vehicles, insured under their shit because I keep my shit up to date. I haven't, I'm good with that stuff, because I was a pizza driver for over a decade, I had to make sure all that shit was perfect all the time. So that fucking company, the extermination company, the one that I told you all about, how they ghosted me and shit. All of a sudden I get another notification from them again. They want me to go to a different branch and apply to a different position, but still the same great pay. And I try. And then the guy a new GM calls me and I tell him the story. Hey, I applied, I got a high score, I signed a conditional job offer, and they ghosted me. And I don't really know why. And then when I tried to ask the guy who I had been in contact with, he completely ignored my text messages, which was very uncharacteristic of him going into all this.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy was like, okay, man, let me see. And he calls that other office, and he said, I'm going to actually call you back, man to man. I'm going to find out why you weren't hired, because you look like the perfect candidate. So I want to know for myself, and I'm also going to give you the respect and tell you why, because I know that since you got ghosted, I want you to at least know why, because that's professional.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking expected from the first guy, especially after having talked to the guy for over a month during the process and sending text messages back and forth, all this conversation back and forth. And this other guy calls me back and he says, yeah, it has to do with your criminal background. I'm like, that shit was 23 years ago. And my dad was passing away at the time. So I was really stressed out, and I was a 20-something-year-old little shit, my very early 20s. So, I mean, I didn't say all this to him, but I just said thank you and just hung up with him. But if that's the way they're going to be, then fuck these people, bro. Fuck these guys. If they're going to be that strict, I mean, I'm a 46-year-old fucking man with a fucking gray beard, and look at my record now. Look at my whole record. A 46 years, you see the little blemish right there, way back in the middle somewhere, and you see nothing, zero since then. So,
well, that's a good thing. I was probably the same as you, man. Like early 20s, going to bars, getting into scraps, fights, getting arrested by the police and stuff like that. I was the same, man. I'd done the same shit. But in Britain, in Scotland, England, your shit gets wiped after 7 years if it's not a serious offence. And as long as it's no murder or armed robbery, or if it's just scuffs and scapes and little fights here and there. Or
what about operate vehicle while intoxicated? Drunk driving.
I'm not sure about that. But I think it could be similar. I think it could be.
You never known anybody to get in trouble for drunk driving?
Nah.
Have you known anyone was drunk driving and been pulled over by cops?
No.
And really?
Mm-hmm.
Because hundreds of thousands of people die in America every year from drink drivers.
It's kind of I know, but it's kind of taboo over here. Like people frown upon that shit over here. It's not something to boast about. Like, I was caught drink driving. Even if there was people I know that had been, they probably wouldn't tell you, because it's something to be ashamed of. Well, where I come from, because there's so many accidents because of that, and people lose their lives, loved ones, because of drunk drivers.
Have you ever been driving and seen someone pulled aside by the police?
I've seen somebody pulled aside, but I'm not sure if it's been through drink driving. But it definitely happens. It's just I don't know anybody, and people won't confess to it either. You know what I mean? It's not something like a lot of people will confess to having a fight in a bar, or even get caught stealing at a shop or whatever. That's not seen as that bad. But if you turn around and go, I was caught drink driving, people are like, oh, you're a scumbag.
Wow, I guess so. It's really socially frowned upon for real there. That's very intelligent of the society to be like that, because in America, it ain't. I mean, everyone's just constantly being assholes and getting multiple drunk driving all the time,
Yeah, well, the limit used to be a unit, which was like half a pint of lager over here, but now it's nothing. So it's zero. And I think that's where America goes wrong. You're allowed a little bit, and people don't understand what a little bit is. So if you just make it zero, because you can what it's like, man. You have one drink and you're like, oh, I want to have another one, and it's one thing leads to another, and the next minute you're driving home. It's like, I'm not speaking through experience, but I'm just saying that that's easily done. I mean, once you have a drink, you're not thinking properly. And it's easy to have another one. And a lot of my mates used to think a unit of alcohol was a pint of lager. So there probably was a lot of guys that I knew that were over the limit driving. But they thought they weren't, because they thought a unit was only a pint, but it was half a pint. So, drink driving's kind of frowned upon over here. You're a bit of a scumbag if you drink and drive. This cat's doing my fucking head in, man. I've got a cat staying with me right now.
What's wrong with you? What are you looking at over there?
This cat. Did you not see him earlier?
Yeah, but what is he stalk? Is he about to pounce on your face or something?
No, he's fucking just getting into everything. He's walking all over. I've got Christmas wrapping paper over here. I've got things like and he's climbed up and he's walking all over it and he's fucking setting off little fucking musical things and now he's licking his balls and fucking, he's one of these dolly cats or he's one of these expensive cats. But we're looking after him because my missus' brother, he's schizophrenic and he took a bad turn and he's kind of fucked. So we've took his cat, we've kind of took his cat on. And he's just he's cute as fuck though, but he's a pain in the arse. And he loves me for some reason. He loves me, follows me around the whole house. He scratches at my bedroom door when, he's a pain in the arse though, but I kind of like him.
Cats choose you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And he makes biscuits on me. He sits on my lap and he fucking does this thing with his paws and
you know what that is?
I think he's trying to shag me as well. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck? Get off.
You know what that when they're doing this, you know what that really is? They're trying to push the milk out of their mother's teat.
Really?
They would push on it when they do it on a blanket. It's like they're pushing on their mom's teat to get the milk to come out while they're drinking it. He
does it on my chest, he'll sit on my lap and do it on my chest and he stick his head right in my face, fucking hell. And but it's strange because his owner, which is my missus' brother, he took a psychotic turn because he's schizophrenic, but he was telling people that he chopped someone's head off. It was crazy. And then a week later, it was in the news, there was a head found in Edinburgh, a decapitated. We were like, holy shit. But there was no connection. It was just such a weird coincidence. So.
Oh, shit, man.
I know. It was crazy. But he was he got sectioned. He got kind of forced to go into a psychiatric ward because he was just going around.
Did they tie him up like this? Were they tying him up and shit?
I didn't think they put him in a straitjacket, but he was put in a kind of room and fucking given loads of meds again, just to calm him down. But we kind of took on the cat, and we're trying to get him to get closer to us, the brother. We're trying to get him in a sort of apartment or a house closer by his family, so we can look after him, can keep an eye on him. But right now he's staying with my missus' mum, which is his mum as well. But we're kind of worried sometimes, Ken, because he has these delusional fucking thoughts and he thinks he's been fucking rolling about with alligator. He tells you he's been scuba diving and stuff like that, and he's never been scuba diving, and he just comes out with all these weird fucking things. It's a shame. It is a shame, And he's a heavy weed smoker, and I don't think that helps, Ken.
Why not? Why? Maybe it does.
The weed makes you paranoid, mate. The weed makes you paranoid.
It makes you think. It makes you think.
I maybe overthink.
Yeah.
It can make you overthink about stuff.
Is there really such a thing, though?
Aye, there is. I think there is because
I know there is. But eventually, if you're overthinking things, and if you're smart enough to be overthinking things, then you're smart enough to think your way through the anxiety and realize that, you realize reality and that everything's okay and you can not panic,
Aye, but
if you're smart enough.
I think that's coming from a perspective of a normal brain.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're already a wee bit fucked and then you smoke weed and it just makes I don't know, mate. I think we'll never understand because we're sane.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think the weed just makes it worse, to be honest with you. But at the same time, when you deprive him of it, he gets fucking edgy as well. So,
yeah, because it's addictive as fuck. People say it's not, but it's addictive as fuck.
Just taking it off him as well can send him back into a sort of schizophrenic.
How do you feel mentally with taking a break from weed?
Oh, my dreams, mate. Fucking
yeah.
That's the worst thing, I think, is my dreams.
That goes away after a while.
Oh, I still have crazy dreams.
Well, I did a 3-month stretch earlier this year. I did a 3-month stretch, And the first 2.5, 3 weeks, it was like that, where like at night, I was hanging out in my apartment and watching TV and falling asleep on the couch after work because I'm out in the sun all day. And plus it was like summer, so I was real tired after work. And I'd sit in my super cold, super dark little small unit here and be in and out of sleep. And the dream started blending with reality because I was dreaming about the people that were in my life and in situations, and like standing in some weird garage, someone's garage, but yet I'm with this person and connecting these two things. And I started blending reality. It got real bad for the first couple nights and shit, where I was like, and I'd wake up and it'd only be 8 p.m.,
Yeah.
And I think it was the next morning already and shit. And just, oh God, it's fucking torture and shit.
I know exactly how that feels, man. Like
Yeah.
last night's dream I had, they're so vivid as well, and they're so clear. It almost feels like it was real. But last night's dream, there was a tripod in my neighbour's garden, like this big tripod, and I had a camera looking right into my house. And I was like, what the fuck? And I mind even thinking this morning, I mind looking at my window this morning thinking, have they got that tripod in the garden? I was like, was that it was so real it just felt so real that I don't know if it's that I've got a sort of paranoid fucking thing about my neighbours watching me or something, and it's just a subconscious thing. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's just you don't want people looking at you for the wrong reasons. So subconsciously, and then just the fact that your neighbors live right there immediately next to you, your brain just used that as an example, probably.
Possibly, aye. But
how much do you talk to that neighbor? Ever?
No, not very much.
Oh, but you're okay with them, right? Yeah.
Kinda, aye. Kinda.
What happened?
No, like when we first when they first moved in, it was a bit
noisy.
Fucking,
were they noisy?
It's not that noisy. They've got a boy who kicks his football against my fence every fucking day. Bang, bang, bang. And it's fucking, it's just infuriating, man. And the woman, she's obviously I think she's a carer or something like that, but at the end of each school day, she's got all these kids in her garden, and fucking, it's just like, just noise, and it's like, and I think my missus kind of had a run-in with her about something. I can't remember exactly right now what it was about, but I'm sure they had a little argument about something, but
probably something to do with the mail or the trash piles in the driveway or something.
Maybe it was something to do with the bins or some shit. I don't know. But fucking aye. But we just keep ourselves to ourselves, to be honest. Like the other neighbours on the other side, they're really cool with us because they're old, and the guy had, I think he had cancer or something, but he had a, is it a catheter? Is it a catheter that you need to pee into a bag or some shit like that?
Oh yeah.
Is that a catheter? But he couldn't get it fixed or some shit. And because my missus is a nurse, now and again she goes through to help him with certain things, and they're glad we're here, put it that way.
Yeah.
And the other neighbours that are next door to them, they like us. So
when I lived with my woman for all those years, we had this old couple across the street that was, basically retired, super conservative, and they fucking loved us and we loved them, and they always had our back. Like sometime there was a night where our alarm went off and he was already on his front porch with his gun out, looking to see if he needed to come over and kick someone's ass. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's heavy shit.
Yeah. He was ready. He was cool, man. Fucking badass old man. Because his kids were about our age, and they'd already, left and had their own families and everything. And he just saw us as just his kids' age. At that time, we were in our 30s,
Sorry to change subject, but I noticed, I never noticed when I looked at your short video that you made tonight about the stream. I noticed there was another short video and it was like a ball floating on a fan.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck does that not just fly away? Like, what's going on there?
Oh, that's like a shop fan that you put in a wood shop, or a kitchen, or anywhere where you're just, it's just a fucking floor fan, and it's really powerful, and it was on its lowest setting, and that ball had just enough air in it and was deflated just a little so that there's a little bit of drag, and it just stayed right there. It just stayed like that. I came to it was in my
move at least to the left or right, but it seemed to just stay. You'd
Well,
think
yeah,
it
because
would go somewhere else. Ken.
because it was not fully inflated. I think if the ball was fully inflated, then the air would bounce off it and it would go off kilter more easily. But I think that since it's ever so slightly deflated, it's
that's pretty cool. Like
that was at my shitty pizza job. I came in and someone already had that set up. Some weird dude that worked there already had done that, and I was like, "Oh shit! I got to get this on camera because it is kind of cool." You know?
Is that an old video then?
Yeah, it's from like middle 2023.
Really? Oh, talking about, like, I don't know why I go into the flat Earth, man, but I went into that Jeremy. Remember Jeremy? What's his name? Gem Panda. He does the Sunday roasts every Sunday.
Still?
He still does it, man. But when you go to the channel to watch it, all he's doing is like slating Trump fans and people on the right. It's just like an attack, on right wingers. And people against trans, people against homosexuality, they attack them. It's this big group that just attacks them. It's fucking pathetic.
Does Twitwit involved with all that?
Oh, you see her now and again. You see Osman in the chat as well, but Tim Osman gets it quite tight for the. Again, like they don't like Tim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it's just like I just sometimes go in just to see if they're still. I actually donated a $5 to him, like, because I almost felt sorry for that Jeremy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So for anyone in the future that's watching, would you call yourself a centrist? Conservative-leaning centrist?
Probably, aye. Yeah. But I wouldn't say I was totally a right winger, like
me.
I like to think I'm quite independent minded. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like to put myself into groups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I do like certain. That's the thing. The left has been seen as a dirty thing, and the right's been seen as a dirty thing. But there's good things on both sides, really. You know what I mean?
More stuff on the right is good than there's stuff on the left that's good.
Well, I suppose, especially nowadays, when you see the state of the world. I mean, you wish the world was a little bit more right wing, but then if it went too right wing and too controlling and too authoritarian, you would wish it was a wee bit left. You know what I mean? It's the times, and so I try and keep myself out of that shit, man. To be honest with you. You can't help but get dragged into it. You know what I mean?
I like this format. This looks better, huh? Check this out.
Aye. You see all my fucking warts and fucking scars.
The beard looks super good, man. The beard looks real fucking good. Look at that.
Right.
Yeah, look at that fade. Yeah. Nice. I keep this part real tight up to the front.
That's nice. You didn't want too much. You didn't want it too low.
Too low is weird. It's weird. If you're going to be low, it has to be long, and that's just part of the under foundation. You know, then it's okay. But if you're going for this, you got to be fucking airtight around here.
Aye, because it kind of frames your face.
Yeah.
It frames your face, that shit. And if you've got too much down there, it makes your face look rounder or some shit. And you need to cut it nice and tight.
My fucking red gerbil face.
but even my missus seen you and she says, "Oh, he suits the beard better." Like,
yeah.
Oh, aye, because I think you look too shiny and sweaty sometimes because of the humidity or some shit.
I look like a fucking red fucking what was it? A fucking gerbil? You have me as a fucking great red gerbil?
Sometimes you look
chipmunk, a fucking chipmunk.
Aye, a wee bit, but not necessarily a chipmunk. But you looked shiny and I don't know. Maybe that's a healthy look, but I think you look more refined with the beard, man. You look better. It's like a Joe Rogan sort of look.
Sean Connery kind of way. Sean Connery.
I like the dark tash with the grey. You know what I mean?
Oh man. Now, if only I could have perfect teeth, then things would be nice. If only I could have perfect teeth.
Nobody's perfect, man. I've got like a stained tooth, and
I got one right there too. That's the cigarette.
The smoking. It's like the last tooth, the smoke sort of hits. But it's smoking, man. Nobody's perfect, man. You know what I mean? We're men. We're not meant to worry about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be dragged. I usually let my hair get quite thick and my beard get quite fucking straggly. My missus like, go and get a fucking haircut for fuck's sake. I mean, she needs to like tell me to go to the barber because I didn't give a fuck most of the time. So. No one of these guys that put moisturizer on my face and fucking all this shit. And I've never been a gym guy. I've never went to the gym, so I've never had to like keep myself in shape because just my lifestyle kind of keeps me in shape. So I've never had to worry about going to the gym and doing all this shit. And I just kind of accept myself who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you still scroll up to the top of the comments, or no?
I'm not even. Oh, wait there. Let's see comments. Oh, right. I was on private chat there for a while.
Oh, were you texting me?
Nah, I wasn't. Pull over. Who's that? I'm drunk driving right now. I'm drunk with Poncho Pete. Who's pull over? There's Chris Hayes. He was looking forward to tonight's stream. Oh, Chrissy boy, how you doing, Chris?
Oh yeah, so do the first 5 in the live if you can.
First 5 in the live, okay. Let's see. So we have Andrazi.
Yeah, in at number 1.
Is that how you say it, or is it you say Anderzes?
No, I say Andratz.
Andratz.
I say both.
Anderzes.
Yeah,
Andrazi.
Andrazi. Yeah, that's the right way. I got to get a drink of water, so hold on. Or do the first 5 so I can do this.
And we have, secondly, I'll not do it as good as BB. He's a master at the first 5. PC, who's a new guy. Well, I think he's new. Into the break at number 3. OG McBaggins. At number 4, Terry Sprinkles. And at number 5, Chris Hayes. How you doing, guys? And we have Sue Heavens. So she's over from my channel. How you doing, Sue? Good to see you. She was asking me about a stream, so she's quite happy that we're having one tonight. And who else have we got? Hoop, how you doing, man? Barry Mansfield says, yes, good point. Definitely lots of ageism and anti-white maleism in the UK, which does affect men who are keen to work. God, see the adverts on YouTube right now is so... The Christmas ones, oh my God. There's a Boots one, and it's like they're all making... It's like Santa's toy shop or whatever it is, and they're all making their little presents and stuff like that, and it's like transvestites and no transvestite, transgenders. I'm saying transvestites, transgenders, brown people, stuff like that. And I've got nothing against it, but when it's just forced in your face, and it's so obvious, like they're trying to keep white men to a minimum in these adverts. And so they're making all these presents and they chuck them in Santa's sleigh, this Boots advert. And the black woman turns around and goes, well, you don't think he'd done it himself, did you? Oh, God, it's just pure fucking cringe. And have you seen the Jaguar advert? You see all these fuckers in their multicolored tops, like... The fuck? You just want to see a Jaguar run over them. You know what I mean? Foreign user, how you doing, man? Huge link found in the last few years. Something like 60% of people with schizophrenia also have Toxoplasmosis.
That has to do with
fucking word.
That has to do with cat's feces.
Really?
In the cat litter box.
No way.
It's a parasite that goes into human brain, and what this parasite is used, it spreads to mice and rats. Okay, I lived with a cat for 12 years, and oh shit, you just got a cat, and I'm telling you this. No. This is after like 20 years of living with a cat. So you don't need to worry.
Fucking hell, man.
No, but this parasite gets into the mouse, and then the mouse wants to befriend the cat. So it makes it easy for the cat to kill its victims. It's part of its predatory like system of how it kills. It's prey. It's
like chemical warfare for fucking its asshole.
Cats and their magic.
Crazy, man.
But it could supposedly get into some humans' brains. But I mean, like, If you're a normal sanitary person and you make sure that the cat doesn't shit on your pillow, you should be okay.
No, this cat's got his own it's like an enclosed cat litter, it's
To
got
keep
a
the
cat
smell.
flap.
To keep
It
the
doesn't.
smell.
It doesn't really smell either. He's quite a clean cat, I've got to say. But he hasn't been neutered. But he doesn't spray everywhere. He doesn't. Because he's one of these fucking. I'll go and grab him so you can have a better look at him. But I'm not sure what they call him. It's like a dolly cat or something. What they call it? Dolly cats or. See the wee guy there. He's got Leo, but he's got the blue eyes.
Yeah.
But he's a nice cat. He's a fucking. He loves me to bits. Like he's just attached to me. Just follows it. Goes when I go for a shit. He's outside the door scratching at it and fucking. It's like Jesus. This cat loves me. And he's not like that with anyone else in the house. I don't know why.
He already spread his tentacles of chemical warfare to your brain, bro. He's already got you.
Possibly.
I mean, look, you're holding him. You love him. You're already holding him. You're doing his biddings. You know what I'm saying?
I've just kind of disturbed him. He was nice and comfy over there. He was fucking making a wee bed.
No, when we had a cat, she had him before she even met me, and he lived all the way to like 2019 or 20. He lived many years. I don't remember exactly when he died off the top of my head now at this time, but I was attached to that cat, like real fucking attached to that cat, man. I got all kinds of pictures of him and shit. I still sometimes go back and look at my old pictures of the cat and shit. Because in my life, I had a beagle when I was 10 up until the age I was 20. He lived exactly 10 years.
Oh, what a shame. That's quite short life, I suppose. Like, I had a Labrador and it was 9 when he died, man. I was so depressed, man, when my dog died, man. I was probably more depressed when my dog died than a lot of family members died in my family. You know what I mean? Like aunts and shit like that. Like a lot of them drank themselves to death and shit. And like, but my dog, man, I loved that dog. I fucking had him since he was like 6 weeks old. Little Labrador. Oh, I fucking loved him, man. And it was a horrible way he died as well, man. He jumped off we used to let him sit on the sofa and shit like that because he was like our kid. He was like part of the family. So he was on the sofa and he was just he was quite bad for the past few days. He's breathing and all that. And just one day he jumped off the sofa and his legs kind of spread apart, and then he went in a sort of spasm, and oh my God, I was fucking running down the stairs with him, and he was kind of dying in my arms, and I chucked him in the car, and he had one big gaspy breath in the car on the way to the vet. I thought he was still all right, but no, that was his last sort of breath, and fucking just died, man. I was like, no way. I was in depression for like weeks and weeks and probably months, man. And I still can't get a dog because of it. I still can't get a dog. We've only got this cat because we had to, you know what I mean? Like, because of the situation, but I can't really get a dog because I'm still heartbroken, man, losing my root.
Yeah. Did you shout out Chris Hayes?
Chris Hayes, I did. Pull over. I think I didn't miss anybody. But did you see? I didn't. Did you hear that? Me and my son went down to a Western Orthodox church.
Yeah, was there a video of that or no?
Nah, because I wanted to be a bit respectful. I didn't want to like sit in a filming stuff there, like because we're actually part of the mass or whatever you call it down there. We actually had the wine and the bread and all that shit, man. It was quite cool, but you can't like. I've been trying to explain this to my son, like. You can go to all these churches and you can listen to all these fucking priests recite the fucking Bible, but to me, I feel the closest I get to God is when I'm out in the mountains, walking through a forest, because you're in his fucking creation, man. Like, this is his creation, the fucking trees, the sky, the fucking sea, the mountains, and all that shit. It's amazing to me. It's amazing how I'm just existing amongst it all, and to me, that's fucking God. If you want evidence of God, I mean, because I didn't believe in big bangs, and I didn't believe in moonlight. I didn't believe we can get out this atmosphere. You know what I mean? I didn't believe we can fucking even penetrate our atmosphere to go to the moon. I don't believe in moon landings, Mars, any of that shit. That's bullshit, man. All that is bullshit. So I do believe in God, and I have for a while. the way I try to explain it to my son is that, like, a blind person trying to explain the color red to a blind person, right? He's got no concept. If he's always been blind, the moment he's been born, he'll never have that concept of red. You could say, oh, a fire engine is red, a post box is red, but you're trying to use worldly things, and plus they've never seen a post box, they've never seen a fire engine, so it's like something that's beyond their comprehension. And I feel that we're like the blind man, and it's something like red, like God isn't within our comprehension. You can't explain them, and the people try to tell you what red is. If you're blind, and the guy telling you what in the post box, the fire engine, that's the priests, that's the religion trying to tell you what God is. I mean,
that's not even because they don't know.
I know, but that's them trying to figure it out, and they're trying to explain it to you. But they've not even got a fucking concept in it. No, you're right, but
because they're a human too, so they're limited by the same. Like, if we're blind to, if it's like a sense that you need to have that our body can't receive that frequency, like our brain can't interpret that frequency of whatever that thing is, then it's not something that's going to be understood by us.
Yeah.
It's like outside of our range. It's like a UV ray that's out of our vision spectrum.
It's beyond our comprehension, and you have to be humble enough to say that. Like, there's just some things out there that you'll never understand. I mean, you'll never understand, like, why we're here, our purpose here, how it all started. And you know what? I'm happy not to understand it. I'm happy to wonder. You know, and that's what I was trying to explain to my son about the moon landings and traveling to Mars. See, when you come to the conclusion that we've never been to the moon and we'll never be able to get to Mars, it makes it more wondrous. You know what I mean? It does. It makes it more wondrous. Like these things in the sky. So, aye, man. And I mind the first time I prayed, man, like when my son was born. Like I wouldn't say I was an atheist, but I didn't really think much about God. But when my son was born, there was complications. And I was in the room during labour, and it was an emergency section, a cesarean section that he came from. So they had to cut my missus up and can open, and there was like, oh, is he breathing and stuff? And they rushed them out the room. And I was left in this room on my own, like, what the fuck's going on? And I remember sitting in that room going, please, God, if there is a God, if there is one, please go and make my missus, make my son be okay, please, I was begging, and everything turned out all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's so many things in my life, like just where I came from. I came from poverty. I came from total poverty, single parent family. My mother died when I was young. I came from really shitty, and I'm sitting in my own house with my own car, my own family. I feel like Job. It feels like they took it all away from me, and I get it back double. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I feel like I'm in reverse because I started with a pretty good life. It just seems to just get tougher and tougher, money-wise, for me.
Well, maybe, but it's my outlook. I suppose that everyone's experience is different, but maybe that's your test, mate. Maybe that's the test. Maybe you have to just keep the faith and get through your tough times, mate. And maybe it'll be good. Eventually, maybe you'll meet some fucking spinster millionaire woman that will sweep you off your feet and spoil you forever. You never know, mate.
Yeah.
Who's this job skeptic? Big Mac Miller Light.
There's some asshole named Big Mac Miller Light in here? What's this say? Been smoking since 14 to I'm 50 and get told I look 35 often. It keeps my mind healthy. You face your convictions and get healthy. You face your convictions and get healthy. Finally becoming legalized here in Australia. Oh, wow. Wow. That's where they're from. Man, it's one of my favorite subscribers right there, Mac and Ash.
Well, I'm 42, and I keep getting told I look younger than 42. Like, I didn't feel younger, but I keep getting told that I look younger than 42 because I'm still not really that grey. I'm not really getting much grey here.
I'd say early to mid 30s at first glance.
Mm-hmm. Cheers, man. My granny, she's 89. She keeps saying, you look like a teenager still. But I suppose when you're really old, like people look younger. Kind of. I remember when I was like 15 and looking at a 40-year-old and going, they're fucking old, man. They're fucking old men.
Because they can see the wrinkles. They can see all my little fucking wrinkles and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm the same. Look at my forehead, man. It's like the mappy fucking Britain.
You get that fucking vein right down the middle, just like I do sometimes when it's there.
Aye.
Can't see it.
But it's like when you're young, you look at like 40-year-olds like they're fucking old, and when you get to 40, you're like, holy shit, I've not even lived my life yet. You know what I mean? That's what I realised. My mum died when she was 38-year-old.
That's crazy.
I remember, that's crazy. And I used to think when I was like, because when she died, I was like 14, 15. I think I was 15-year-old. But when she died, I used to think, well, she's well, sorry, she's not old, but she's no young. You know what I mean? But see, now I'm 42. I'm older than what my mum was when she died. I'm like, holy shit, she was young. She was fucking really young, because I feel like I've not even lived. Really?
So you were talking about all this we were talking about other dimensions of perception and frequencies and waves and stuff. Did you ever see my CERN video?
I probably did, but how long ago was that?
I think I dropped it like a year or 2 years ago at this point. It was my last like video that I made. Besides the ball floating on the fan. And it's like a 3 or 4 minute, 5 minute video, whatever it is. And I said CERN isn't even real. You remember that one? Or I said CERN isn't even real.
It might not be real, man. Like, why would you? It might be just another thing like NASA, where they just pile tons of money into it just for fuck all, and it's just a joke.
Let me get your take on this. All right. So what they claim to do is isolate particles, right? And take them 2 particles or however many particles and fucking smash them fuckers into each other. It's 2 particles and fucking. Okay. How can you isolate a particle? Because all of existence, all the air around us, we're swimming in a soup of everything is connected particles. Every particle is connected to every particle. So how can you isolate one particle and then speed it up and shoot it past? It's still going through a medium, right? It's still going through the world we exist in, which is inherently particles all the fucking way through. Every square inch of everything is particles. So how are you supposed to isolate particles? CERN is bullshit. I don't know what the fuck they are doing and exploding. You can't isolate particles and then smash these isolated particles into each other and fucking make little fucking energy shits or whatever. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Is it like a big tunnel or something?
Yeah, but they go in the opposite. They go in opposite directions and then smash into each other. Somehow they can aim these fucking particles that are somehow separated. Okay, so if they're inside a fucking gun that's shooting this little, let's say there is an isolated particle and the little particle is inside a gun like a bullet and it like shoots out, it's still touching the walls of the mechanism that's projecting it. And it's also still going through the medium of physical existence, which is all particles. So it's complete bullshit. It's just like
bullshit, mate. It is, because they think they can fire 2 particles and create maybe another particle, or was it the boson? What they called it? The Higgs boson or some shit like that. Was it the Higgs boson?
Higgs boson, yeah.
But it's only for like a millionth of a second it's there and it disappears. Okay, it's a lot of shit. And I remember when I first heard about it, they were like, oh, they could maybe create a black hole. They're like, why would you want to create a black hole on Earth? You fucking morons. If black holes are true and what they depict in science, like that black holes can suck everything and not even light can escape a black hole. All this shite. Why would you want to create that on Earth? It's like creating the worst nuclear bomb and testing it, right? Let's create a nuclear bomb that can blow up the Earth 1 billion times. Let's test it and see. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
It's beyond blowing it up. It would just vacuum it all down into fucking obliteration and oblivion.
Shite, man. A lot of shite, and it's just the same. It's just like NASA and all their shit, man. It's just there's so many fucking nerds out there that want to believe that shit because they can't. Everybody wants an answer for everything. Like we were saying before, can they not be humble and accept that there's just some things that will never be fucking explained because it's beyond our comprehension. I mean, just be humble. Like the blind guy, he'll never see red. And I'm sure he'll be humble enough to accept that, right, you'll never see red. You know what I mean?
Do you think there's a possibility that sound waves can be shot through like a ray mechanism and cure your body and cure cancer and things like that? Like sound guns?
Sound waves are the different because you can feel sound waves. You can stand in front of a speaker and feel the fucking waves. Like, that's what we miss, man. Like, I miss music that actually comes. I feel like buying I have got an old set of speakers, to be honest, but I've just put them in the attic. But we've all got these little fucking Amazon or Echo, and it's these Amazon fucking speakers that sit in the corner of the room. And although they're quite loud for the size of them, you're not getting the wave and the sound wave that I remember going to a nightclub. You'll ken yourself back in the day going to a nightclub and you feel the music pumping through your fucking body. And it's like, ooh, 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 and it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And you can feel the waves going through you, man.
I'm a bass guitar player, bro.
The bass. I love bass, mate. I love bass. What is it like? Is it 4 strings, 5 strings?
4. I got a 4-string and I got 2 4-strings and a 5-string.
Aye, but that's the lower. That's the lower notes. And the lower notes are the better notes. That's the. It's the ones that people didn't know. The thing is, bass is so underrated. But if you took bass out of a lot of songs, it would sound so different.
Oh yeah.
But it's such a subtle sort of noise sometimes in the bass because it's so low frequency that people didn't really appreciate it.
So in music, you've got the drums, and then you got melody and counter melody. Counter melody would be the singer, and what is the singer singing in contrast to? The singer is typically singing in contrast to the rhythm and the bass line, you know. Mm-hmm. And then like there'll be a guitar that's doing something related to the bass line, sometimes matching it perfectly, but just playing chords. But that bass line is the foundation, and that's the foundation, and then the singer contrasts on top of that, making the melody or the counter melody, whatever the fuck you call it. You know what I'm saying? So the bass is just vitally crucial. It's like the earth that the whole thing sits on, you know?
Well, I feel like nowadays people don't have these speakers in their houses anymore, and maybe that was a deliberate. Maybe there's something to like getting sound waves going through you, and whether it heals or not, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, and it feels like they don't want you to have good feelings anymore. And they want to take that away, and you've just got this shitty sound now in the corner of your room. Like, you hear your favourite song, but it doesn't sound like it should. Because you're not getting the bass, you're not getting that fucking feeling, that low bass that just goes through you.
It's not just the bass, it's like the whole spectrum of the sound.
Mm-hmm.
But the bass is, just as important as every other part of it.
So I think there is something to sound waves. I do think there's whether they're healing or not. I'm not sure, man. But I miss fucking the old sound waves fucking hitting me. Even TVs nowadays, the speakers are facing backwards. So we've got a big widescreen, big 50-inch TV on the wall, and it's fucking the speakers are going. The sound goes into the wall, and it's in the old days the speakers used to fucking face you, but. It's like they don't want you being hit by any waves anymore. So maybe there is something to it.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because they want the entire front of the TV to just be the screen, you know? So there's no space to also have speakers there. Plus the speakers, they're going to have magnets in them, and then that's going to leave that weird mark on the TV if you get something magnetic too close to your TV. You know what I'm talking about?
That's the old school TVs, man. Like, is that the same with modern TVs?
It does the same shit to flat screens, I heard too, I think.
Does it?
I think, yeah. I'm not sure though. Maybe I'm wrong.
So what's the chat saying? They love the old OG McBaggins. Is he a bass player?
Jeez, the comments are like way down there.
Listen to my jams, Jed. I'll subscribe to you, OG McBaggin. I thought I was subscribed to everybody in here, but maybe I've just unsubscribed over the years. But bass is my favourite type of guitar. Again, it's good hearing the fucking electric guitar or the acoustic, but bass, man, the boom, boom, boom. I love that shit, man. So underrated.
Yeah, it's all about the bass.
I'm going to go for a quick ciggy, man. So if you can just excuse me for not even 5 minutes, mate, because I'm rolling my own cigarettes because it's £15 a packet over here. So I find myself I can get more out a rolling. So I'll be back in a minute, mate. They didn't take long to smoke.
Okay. All right, all my motherfuck faces. YouTube. YouTube is out here talking about technical shit. Cut under 60 hertz, that horrible. Oh, that fucking sound that the bass makes. Oh, man. I'm getting a new computer soon, I think. You don't like quantum mechanics, says Pullover. It's not that. It's just that CERN is bullshit. Nothing Major says, I agree. I've always liked Jed. I like VB, but I've had to let him grow on me over the years. Yeah. So we're joined by Jed. He looks like he's got the same haircut as these guys from Scotland. In wrestling, they're called Gallus. And they got the same exact look. One guy, Joe Coffey, has the same look as Jed. It's a good look. You could say he's in the faction. If you saw him on TV. OJ McBaggins. Jed didn't say it right. He didn't say OJ McBaggins. Right? YouTube. YouTube is classic. VB, haha, it's almost your name. Yeah. You little motherfuck faces. Oh, man. OJ McBaggins. Oh, man. It's a private club, you know? It's a private club with all the fucking legends. Should I get rid of the banner? No, let's leave the banner up. It's promotion for Jed.
Nah, man, I quite like my small community, man. I didn't. The thing is, it's like there's these massive channels out there with like hundreds of thousands of people watching and all that shit, man. I like it. I like it small, man. I like it. I do. I feel like it's a better community that way. And see this quantum mechanics, man. What a look fucking shit.
Yeah, what's your take on quantum fucking mechanics, bro?
Well, what's the new one now? What's because before it was like quantum computing and all that shit. What's the new shit they're trying to push now on computing? What's the new shit they're pushing? Oh, fucking AI. AI's the new quantum. I mean, it's just another fucking AI is just programs. I mean, it's just the thing is we could have had the AI 20 years ago if they'd managed to build up millions of images 20 years ago in the computer or millions of information. It's just information. It's just fucking millions and millions of bits of information. And we've got to the point now where we've just got so much information that You can put it in a computer and it can just spit out shit at you now. Get what I mean?
Have you seen the little brain cells that they're fucking using as computer processors now? They've taken they've taken human brain cells and put them in a petri dish and let them cultivate, and then they use those in the microscopic chips, and they're using them as to do work, to do like computer labor, and they process faster. They're what's powering like the cutting edge AI, and then there's a big ethical debate because inside the little matrix that these little brain cells live in and operate, they believe that they are like an entity. They exist. And then they put them in this fake like butterfly simulation, and it shows them existing in their matrix as a butterfly, and they believe they really are that butterfly, and they fly around and all this shit. So it's an ethical concern. All these conspiracy videos have been coming out on this shit nonstop for like a month or two.
I call bullshit and all that, man.
It's on the news. No, it's known. It's like real shit.
So it's real.
Well, I mean, it's a thing that's being discussed right now.
VB, you know better than that shit, man. That's bullshit as well.
You don't think they could take human brain cells and like make them like exist and keep them alive and shit? I mean, I'm pretty sure they can keep brain cells alive, bro.
Consciousness, man, still can't be explained. That's the thing about. That's another thing when it comes to God and stuff like that. That's another thing that makes me believe that us as men are humans. We're so different from everything else on this planet because we're conscious. We're aware of our own existence and we're aware of our own sort of demise and deaths. There's no other animals or anything on this planet that knows they're going to die. Okay, I mean, everything else just kind of does what it does. Okay, I mean, it's like, and this consciousness, man, that's in human beings, it's so special and so mysterious that you could get a fucking brain and slap it on the ground, but you'll never get that consciousness or. Again, it's a lot of shit, man.
Is consciousness the soul?
Well, it could be. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure, but it's so amazing.
What would your kids say to that question?
He's probably got a better answer than me. But it's such an amazing thing that it's another thing that makes you think that we are special. There is something different about us, and that there could be a purpose for us, because we're not just fucking animals just existing. We're actually conscious of ourselves.
I feel like a caged animal sometimes when I'm spending endless nights after a hard day's work just staring at my massive TV and watching endless, bright colors of either sports or YouTube videos or fucking whatever shit I'm watching.
Because that's the way they want you to fucking feel. They're trying to separate you from that. They're trying to make you feel like there isn't something greater out there. It's maybe made up. Maybe whatever created us isn't there anymore. Maybe we are just things in a petri dish that is getting watched by some fucking grand creator and they're laughing at us, or whatever. I'm not sure, but. It's an amazing thing, this consciousness. It is. It's so mysterious, and they're trying to make us feel like robots, mechanized, fucking. They're trying to make us feel all the same. And
that's what public school was all about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what coming up in the kindergarten through 12th grade or whatever it is for you guys.
12th grade.
Elementary school.
Right.
And, high school and all that shit.
Yeah.
That's what it was all about, programming us all to end up in the same kind of condition that basically we all are in. But that's how society functions for now. But it could be nice if there was free energy. See, I guess there is a problem. But free energy, if we did have it, there would be assholes out there that do stupid things with it. But if it was heavily regulated, but definitely heavily restricted to an exact need, like you can't just it's going to be free for you, and you're always going to have it plenty enough to survive and power your home and all that stuff for free. and your car and everything for free if we discover free energy tomorrow. But who's going to be the one that has the power and the authority to say, well, we're special and we're going to take and reserve a whole shitload of this free energy so we can do big things with it? You know what I mean?
I don't think there's any such thing as free energy.
You don't think about all these ancient buildings and unexplainable architectures and sound waves and cymatics and all this stuff, and ancient civilizations pre-flood and all this weird evidence of like a great disaster that's happened in the last 200 years.
I feel that you have to give something to get something. You have to give to the universe to receive for the universe. You don't get. I've always lived by the rule that you don't get anything for nothing.
But it's not from nothing. It's energy from. No, you have to spend energy to create the devices and set the devices up in position to where they then work. So there is work involved, but eventually the energy that you get back from it far outweighs the investment, and it's just pure profit forever. And the stuff has to exist, you know. And you've seen little engines with a free spinning wheel, and then they have two magnets, like opposites or whatever, and the wheel just spins forever on the magnet. Eventually the magnets will like decay, but hundreds of years, thousands of years, you just keep these magnets wrapped around this thing, and the fucking thing will just spin infinitely for free.
I know, but it's like oil, kind of like you get energy because you dig the oil at the ground, and it's like you'll get the magnets spinning because you've had to dig for whatever, you had to magnetize the whatever it is that you make magnets with.
Yeah, but magnets are much more plentiful than, or accessible than, you know, these other
the closest thing I think you can get to free energy is probably the solar and the sun.
Well, yeah, I mean, in theory, there's free energy. It's got to be out there. We've seen all these videos about this shit. So,
no, but I didn't believe in the whole Tartaria fucking churches with fucking steeples that fucking get energy and all that pish. Nah, I didn't believe that shit, man. I know a lot of people do, but I don't know, man.
What about wow, I saw some video the other day, and it was describing how English would sound if it was spoken even 400 or 500 years ago, and it sounded like German. It didn't even sound like English.
Well, it is kind of got a root in Germanic. English is a Germanic language.
Yeah.
So it has got roots. So there is similar sounding words, and obviously languages develop and evolve over time.
Yeah. It was a video about how to protect future generations hundreds of years from now when they eventually come upon the nuclear waste that our current society has buried. So our society right now is burying all this nuclear waste. So they're trying to think of ways to put signs up for people 500 years from now when they come across that. Because if we use skull and crossbones, that could mean something totally different to those people at that time.
It's funny because that's another thing, like this whole nuclear stuff, like the radiation, and I'm starting to even question that shit, man, because they spoke about Chernobyl, kind of like the area in Chernobyl being unlivable for fucking 600, 1,000 years because of how bad the disaster was. And there was people that went back after fucking a couple of months because they had nowhere else to go. They left the area and then they went back and they're fine. I mean, and same way, I suppose Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they were atomic, but these places are thriving, and I'm not sure if this whole nuclear stuff is fucking real either, to be honest with you. I think it could be just more fear-mongering. Nuclear bombs. Yeah.
It's the ultimate fear tactic.
But somebody said in the chat, I think it was Tom Foolery, said that Jeranism just mentioned you the other day. He said, because of your negative troll style, you faded away. But here you are. I think he's talking about you, VB. No, me anyway.
Yeah. More likely you. They don't talk about me anymore.
No, he was talking about you, man.
I seriously doubt Jeranism even mentions my existence at all. That was like fucking 8 years ago or something I interacted with them guys.
I was watching Dell the other day, man, and he's still fucking. That guy's been like doing live streams for 10 years, and he still starts his stream off like a total noob. And he's like, click, 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 and he's like, right, I'm on. It's like fucking. You've been doing this for 10 fucking years. Do you know, Ken, when you're live? Like fucking hell.
Yeah.
I like Dell, but he's now almost arguing with flat earthers because he believes the Earth's moving up. He believes gravity comes from the whole fact that the Earth's constantly moving up. So that goes back to the whole flat Earth society. If you go back to the flat Earth society, that's what they believed, that the Earth was a disc and it was like flying up the way. And that's where you get gravity.
I mean, I know it's flat Earth society crap, but it's everyone initially thinks of that option themselves at first, which is why flat Earth society threw it in there, because it's a common thing that most people probably think in their mind, trying to figure that out. If you think about it long and hard enough, like, okay, so how would a flat Earth exist and there be gravity? Maybe this is going up ever so slightly, like it's a natural thing. So I don't even want to dog on that idea that much anymore. Like, it is a thing that could be an option, technically. Right? It could be an option if there's just infinite nothingness and what we live on is able to just keep pushing towards it. But then there's stars and the sky, which of course are intangible, but they're steady. And therefore we know that the globe model is in question because the stars are always in the same position. So if we were really spinning this way, and then in a galaxy that's spinning this way, and then in a solar system that's spinning this way at this speed, and our Earth's rotating at this speed, the stars in the night sky would be different, but they're always the same for thousands of years and everything. That's the old classic VB fucking flat Earth argument, you know.
The Schlominger late to the party.
Oh, Schlominger has joined us. Chris Hayes, Schlo. Chris Hayes.
Dropping bottles of liquid isn't proving Earth is moving. Get real, Dell. So I seen one of Dell's experiments. He's throwing bottles off a balcony in slow motion or some shit.
What's that supposed to do?
I don't know, man. It's, you know me, man. I didn't believe the Earth's flat, man. I do believe we live in a spherical Earth, but I believe we can't get out of it. I think there's only so deep you can go in the oceans before whatever it is gets crushed by the pressures. And I believe the same when you go up. There's only so far you can go up and you get crushed or radiated or fucking whatever. I believe we are sort of imprisoned in this fucking dome. It does feel like a dome, but it's a dome that goes all the way around. And like people like to think of the fucking
snow globe.
The snow globe. But just put two snow globes together. And upside down, and like that's the way I think it. I don't believe we can leave this fucking, and you never know. These like you said, the stars are intangible. The moon to me is intangible because we'll never get to it. We'll never touch it. It's funny how the Indians and the Chinese landed on the moon, but nobody really fucking spoke about it. Like,
because all the big dogs already knew it was all bullshit, and they knew that their own citizens already know that it's bullshit and it's just dumb, and we just kind of sweep it under the rug, and it's part of the culture. And whenever they want to brag about things or flex their government muscle, they just remind the people, "Oh yeah, we went to the moon," and everyone just shuts up and says, "Okay."
See, when they first went to the moon in 1969, Britain and France didn't want to waste their money on that shit. So they developed the Concorde. They wanted to actually do something that was on the Earth. Okay, that can make the money on Earth, no waste money fucking firing rockets into the fucking... so they developed the Concorde, which was a supersonic fucking plane. You could get to New York from Britain in like 2 hours. And then that got sabotaged. But they could see it was bullshit back then, the Brits. and the French. That's why the British have never really had a proper space program. And they're probably one of the smartest countries out there. I mean, really, the Brits.
Well, yeah.
When it comes to science and technology.
Yeah. They have all the money. It's the Queen of England we're talking about, you know.
Rest in peace. Nah, fuck her. Fuck the king as well.
What's he do up to right now?
Who, the king? What's he up to?
Yeah.
Fuck no, he's probably sleeping right now. With sausage fingers. Have you seen that guy's hands, man? He's got fucking fingers like fucking sausages, man. They're like fucking... Look at Charles's hands, man. He's got the most fucked up hands ever. But nah, the royal family suck, man.
Look what Chris Hayes says. There's nothing wrong with Concorde when they canned it. Exactly. Concorde was the most badass shit ever, and they canned it because I don't know why. Why did they really can it?
There was a couple of catastrophes, and one of them wasn't even their fault. It was a piece of metal lying on the fucking runway. So when the plane either, I can't remember if it was taking off or if it was landing, it hit this bit of metal. The bit of metal flew up, hit one of the wings, and they keep fueling the wings. So the fucking just exploded. But I seen a documentary about the Concorde, right? And apparently when they were flying the Concorde, it flew so high and so fast that there was Americans in the Bluebird. There was a plane called the Bluebird. It was like a big fucking black thing. It was like a big spy plane. But they said they heard, like, they were in gas masks and their fucking whole aviation gear on. And a call came from the radio, like, right guys, there's a Concorde behind you. You need to sort of move out of the way. And these American pilots says they looked over. They were in the Bluebird. Looked over and the Concorde went past and there's people sitting there drinking champagne and stuff in the windows, and they're sitting there with gas masks and everything on fucking, and this Concorde's flying past them, kind of fucking Mach fucking 4, and fuck knows, breaking sound barriers.
Wow.
Crazy, but there's a whole documentary on the Concorde that's fascinating. That was probably the height of British aviation, and it made the world so small. Like I said, you could get to New York. You could get to New York, do a business deal, and come back for your dinner. You know what I mean? It's like fucking hell.
Yeah, within a work day, easily.
Aye, crazy. But they don't want us to have that. And apparently it was too expensive and stuff like that, to get a ticket. But the thing is, when they announced that they were closing the Concorde down, fucking they're fully packed. They're fully booked. People wanted to fly the Concorde before it fucking got taken off.
It was expensive tickets, right?
Yeah. But they flew so high that they hardly used any fucking fuel, and they had the funny nose, and on the end of the plane. That was they only used that when they were landing. So the nose would actually go up when they were flying. Okay, it would become pointier. They'd only point it down when they were landing because the pilots couldn't see the runway because of the fucking nose. So they'd have to point it down so they could see the runway as they were landing.
Wow.
But that funny nose would actually go straight. So it was like a fucking jet. It was like a jet fighter.
I wonder at what altitude they would straighten it out. Probably really early in the ascent. Yeah.
Oh, but it was an amazing aircraft. Amazing. That was the height, and the Americans were conning us with the fucking moon landings, man. While the Brits were making the fucking Concorde.
What do you think about this? Water can't be compressed. What's your take on that?
Well, it depends if it's solid or not. What about if you turn it into ice?
Well, then what if you crush the ice? There's still the mass of the water still exists, right?
I suppose, but you could say that about anything, really, yeah. Like any liquid.
OJ says maybe you could compress it a little bit until the air is out. I don't know. Can you really like press something and make it change its molecular structure to where the oxygen in the air separates from the liquid?
Well, if you look at like the molecules within water, when it's like steam, it's like what it's really separated. When it's a solid, it's really tight. When it's water, it's kind of in the middle. You know what I mean? So I suppose ice, when you turn water into ice, it's probably the most compressed it's going to be until maybe what they said, like that when you take the air out of water. Fuck knows.
Steam is low pressure. Well, not necessarily, actually. No, you could highly pressurize steam, but the act of water becoming steam, I don't know. I just see steam as like low pressure, but then like ice is very high pressure, and water is high pressure. Is water more high pressure?
We're talking about density, really.
I know, but pressure's part of that, right?
Is it? Oh shit. Pressure is more like a force pushing.
Yeah.
Where like density.
But if you submerge an object underwater, that object is immediately under that water's pressure. Right?
Suppose, yeah.
Like you drop a ball into a water pool and the ball sinks and goes halfway down. It's pressurized by
it's a pressure of the act on it rather than the thing itself. Like it's
like the water is not moving forward towards the ball. The ball is inside the water and the water is moving inward towards itself because this thing has come between the water and itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it presses to get back towards itself. How intelligent is water? You know, that's crazy. Water is crazy shit, dude. It's kind of scary how fucking dependent we are on water. Water is almost everything. You know,
it is. It's life, man. It's life, and they try and tell us it's on other planets and Mars it's got ice fucking under the land and all. Fuck off. Like you said, they try and make it the water isn't important, and it probably is. Earth is probably the only planet that has water. Because if any other planet had water, it would probably have life. Oh, Barry Mansfield.
Yeah, he's going to install a reverse osmosis system soon and get the forever chemicals out.
That's very technical sounding.
What are you rolling up there? Just tobacco?
Just tobacco, man.
Is that a real low price option?
The old Golden Virginia, it's called. It's kind of the better of the rolling tobaccos. Golden Virginia.
Are rolling tobaccos over there seen as cheaper, lower quality product than cigarettes, or higher quality, or same?
It's seen as cheaper. It goes further. It does.
But is it a lot lower quality too?
Nah. I'd probably say cigarettes. See, if you ever smoke, like I used to smoke lots of joints, so I used to break up cigarettes and put them in and mix them with weed. And some of the shit you'd find in cigarettes, like it was almost like dyed fucking paper. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is
filler
shit? Like, and with the tobacco, you never find that. It's always pure tobacco. So I would say it's maybe better quality, but you just have to do it yourself. And it's DIY cigarettes, man.
And do you make your homemade cigarettes the same size, or you make them smaller?
I just kind of make them with the size of the paper. You only can get so much tobacco in a paper, and I put a filter in it as well, so you can maybe see a wee filter at the end.
So it's the same as a normal cigarette overall.
Aye.
It's not a pinner.
Nah, I'm not going to make a skinny one. We call them Stockton because there's a prison in Edinburgh called Stockton Prison, and when you made the really skinny cigarettes, it's like a Stockton prison cigarette. Because the prisoners would try and make their tobacco go really far, so they put very little tobacco in the cigarettes, so they're really skinny. But I try and make mine just like the same as a normal cigarette. You call them Lucy's.
Wait, I got the wrong thing up there.
I wouldn't say they're way smaller, a cigarette. They do burn my lip quicker, though. I find myself chucking like half of it away because it just starts burning my fucking lips.
What's this say?
Schlomiger, it's not worth it exactly. What's not worth it?
The rollies.
Aye, man. Like, I can buy a pack of cigarettes. They're 15 quid, right? And you're
How
lucky
many? How many is that? 20?
for 20.
Okay.
So that maybe do me a day and a wee bit of that next day. And maybe a day and a half. I'll go through a 20 pack. Where this costs 15 quid. And it'll probably do me like a few, like 4-5 days. Something like that. And because you have to roll them yourself, you smoke less. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Because you have to actually sit and roll them yourself.
You're meant to roll a whole bunch all at once and put them in your own case.
Really?
That's what you're meant to do.
Are you?
Why not?
My missus says that. She went, so they dry out.
Oh, that's good though, right?
I think so. But I think they're easy to roll when, aye. You're probably right. Lazy. I'm just lazy, man. I mean, I live for the day. Like I feel like if I roll 10 cigarettes, I could get knocked down by a bus tomorrow, and the cigarettes will be sitting there fucking.
Yeah, you should roll 15 for the day and wean yourself down to where you roll yourself 10 for the day, and then I do 2.
I feel like I'll smoke them quicker because I used to do the same with weed. I used to roll like a few joints, and have them sitting there, and because they were already rolled, I'd smoke them quicker, because they were just there. I just pick them up, and it's like, because you have to go through the whole process of like having to make it and shit like that. It sort of delays the time of smoking them.
Well, you do it when it comes to the weed, you do all that stuff in the time of the day when you're not consuming the weed, so you can get it done focused. And then later, when you reward yourself, it's all set up for you.
Yeah.
That's how I used to do shit. It's funny, man. It's crazy now. All my nicotine comes from this electronic salt device, and all my other stuff comes from the other vaporizer thing.
That's crazy, aye. It's like high tech shit now, eh?
Yeah, that's all I am. It's just no electric fucking lung over here.
So how many vapors have we? What was that? Me roll raw connoisseur hemp papers. I've got them in the cupboard for my weed, man. I used to have the old organic papers, man, unbleached.
Nice.
Aye. What are these ones? Swan. Ultra fine. Right, man, I'm going to take another wee. Right, you finish what you got to say there? I was going to take a wee break.
No, go ahead and take a break. We'll get to it later.
Dave Little, We Free. We Free. Is that the We Free Church of Scotland? VB knows it's flat.
Yeah.
I've got a bad habit of trying to highlight the fucking comments so it comes on the screen. I forget I'm on someone else's stream.
You want that one up?
Aye, We Free. VB 100% knows it's flat. Look, he's got like a. Is that like a hole in the Queen's head on a pound coin?
Wow. That's offensive.
It's actually illegal, that shit, man.
Yeah, right?
Like, is it illegal to deface the Queen's head on currency?
Yep. So we've been joined by all these people. Good to have you. Please be nice and shit. Please, Davey Little. I don't know who you are. I don't think I've ever seen you. But you've been in here commenting. Please just be nice to everybody. This is a very, very small community. Very intimate. Very small group of loyal VB listeners and viewers. But it makes me wonder, who are all the other hundreds of views that come afterwards? Who are all you people? Why don't all you random 100-something, 200-something people, used to be 600 or 700, that watch the playback of these live streams, why don't you leave a comment in the comment section? And then I'll know more about you, and it'll be better. Tomfoolery has joined us. YouTube. OJ McBaggins says intangible. So what else has been happening, guys? Oh, something I heard about on Pop Culture Crisis. I like watching their little dumb channel, Pop Culture Crisis. But they were talking about some big magazine did their most influential singers of this century. So that would be the last 24, 25 years. And in at number 2 was Tay Tay. And in at number 1 was Queen Bee, Beyonce, a boy once a boy. And the takeaway from it is that Queen Bee only won because of DEI reasons. Clap, clap, clap. So she only won because of DEI reasons. When everyone knows that the evil demon witch Queen Tay Tay has way bigger numbers. Has way bigger numbers than Queen Bee. But because of our DEI society and our absolute hatred of the white race as a society, self-hating white cucks, Queen Bee gets to win. She gets the big W over the real queen of evil, who's Tay Tay. Is it something to brag about?
Did you see that fake tsunami warning?
Where was it meant for?
San Francisco.
Oh, shit, no.
Did you not see that? It was the other day there. Apparently there was like a 7.3 earthquake right in the sea. And there was a big fucking emergency warning, man. Everyone had to evacuate fucking like parts of San Francisco and shit like that. And nothing ever came out of it.
No.
There was no fucking tsunami. There was meant to be this big fucking tsunami coming and shit like that. Did you not see that? Fucking hell.
And
what happened to Vlad? Is Vlad still alive?
Who knows?
You speak to Vlad?
No. He left. He deleted everything he ever did and left. Disappeared.
That's crazy, man. He's a good guy. Aye, so what about the P. Diddy thing, man? Fucking hell. Just shows you. And like everybody's kind of picked. I believe that like Britney, all the female artists, they're all just like, it's almost like a fucking sick, it's almost like a prostitution ring. And like the highest bidder I don't know, man, there's something weird going on in the music industry with these fucking females and even the rappers, and it's like everyone can be manufactured to a certain degree. You'll never make it unless you're sucking some guy's dick.
Do you think they clone the celebrities and then torture the clones and get people to pay money to torture the clone of Britney Spears?
I don't believe in cloning, man. The first clone ever made was here in fucking Scotland. It was Dolly the sheep. We've still got it in a museum. We've got the actual sheep in the museum. It fucking only lived for like a couple of years or something and died because it was a clone.
Yeah.
Fake news.
OJ McBaggins says, I saw the struggle in VB's eyes on that toke. No, it's all just tobacco. It's all just tobacco. All right. Just so officially.
He might collapse on his footprints after that talk.
What, does that even make sense? What does that mean? That might be a little language barrier.
But I'm sure Dave Little, is Dave Little know? Like, I think Dave Little's from my channel.
Yeah, probably.
I've seen him commenting on my stuff. The storm here as well, Dave Little, man. Like my missus, I said I was going to go out with the sun today because we go on our ventures at the weekend. There we go, fucking go everywhere at the weekends, man. I try and just explore my whole country before I get old and I can't do that shit anymore. So I was planning to go somewhere today, but my missus like, oh, the wind and the rain and it's going to be the fucking storm. What was the storm called? They gave it another name, like Durag or some shit like that.
Is there really a place that's known as the Scottish Highlands?
Oh, aye.
Is it a big area?
It's not like the Rockies, and the Rockies make it look like fucking tiny, but there is the Scottish Highlands, and there's some big fucking mountains. Like,
is it in the farthest north bit?
Nah. It's kind of in the middle, to the west a little bit. Well, you've got the Cairngorms, and then you've got the sort of the west coast. You've got the Cairngorms, which is a city mountain range, and then you've got the Trossachs, where I was at the weekend. Not at the weekend, it was actually midweek. I was up Ben Ledi, but the visibility was so shit, man, because we were in clouds and it was raining and fucking. I actually took my brother-in-law up there, the schizophrenic one, try to help him. To be honest with you, I try and take this guy out and try and take him away from the world for a wee while. Take him away from TV and phones and shit like that, and just for his mind. You know what I mean? But he was struggling, man. We had to stop about fucking probably over 20 times going up this hill because he just couldn't fucking climb it, man. It was fucking a struggle just getting the guy up the hill, up the mountain. Well, it was a mountain, but it was only like, I think it's like 2,000 meters, something like that.
Do these ranges go down into northern England?
Nah. But there is Northumbria, which is a decent city, hills in England. But England haven't got mountains like Scotland. Scotland's got the proper fucking mountains. There's a couple of big ones in Wales, Snowdonia it's called. But it's not as Ben Nevis is the biggest mountain in Britain, and that's in Scotland. So Scotland's got the highest mountains.
How much time in your life have you spent in the country of England?
I was born there, mate.
But I mean, how much time have you really spent over there? Do you go down there? Do you ever go down there to do things?
I go there on holidays. Like since COVID, like we started holidaying here instead of going abroad. So I went down to Northumbria one year, and I went down to Cornwall, which is the very bottom near where what's his name? Fucking D. Came where D stays. He's down at Plymouth. That's at the very bottom. But Cornwall's sort of the bottom west. We went to St. Ives. Beautiful place. And do you know what? The English people are amazing. I love the English, man. I don't know why the Scots get brought up to hate the fucking English, because I think they're some of the best people I've met.
How do they...
You got other these smelly countries like abroad, like Spain, and they're all fucking. They've got no manners. They don't know how to stand in queues. They're all fucking greasy fuckers, smelly cunts as well. Quite smelly fuckers. These countries, man. And you go to England, and you know what? I feel like a caveman. I'm like, they're
why? Because they're all so posh.
It's not that they're posh. They just carry themselves a bit more. They're more gentle. They're more gentle. I feel like I'm a bit more savage compared to the English. They're just more gentler people. They speak more politely. I like the English, man. I really do. I don't know what this thing is with Scottish people hating English and this whole fucking thing with English people, because I fucking love them, man. I think they're really nice people. They're the best people I've met, like outside of Scotland. Probably even fucking better than some of the Scottish people I've met, to be honest with you. I went down to like Carlisle and Cornwall and shit like that, and the people were lovely. Honestly, some of the best people I've met, like when I've been like on holiday, is the English.
Yeah. Now, each part of England has their own little accent, correct?
Oh, aye. Same with Scotland.
So okay. So there's different Scottish accents too.
Oh, fucking.
So do you notice how do the people in like the farthest places away in England, or how do they react to your Scottish accent? Is it noted? Do they know that you're Scottish? Obviously.
Aye.
Yeah. Okay.
But before I stayed in Edinburgh about 6-7 years ago, I used to live in Edinburgh, which is the capital city of Scotland. And I moved out to West Lothian, which is about 6-7 miles away from Edinburgh. And they speak totally different accent. They say finished instead of finished. They don't say ken how I say ken, and dinny ken. I mean, don't know. They don't say that through here. They're like that. They look at me like, fuck, he's from Edinburgh. You know what I mean? But honestly, the accents change for like a few miles away.
So how do they react to it in England? Do they get a charge out of it? Do they like it? Do they?
Aye, the English like the Scots. That's what I've realised as well. That the English actually quite like the Scots. So I don't understand why the Scots don't like the fucking English. It's one of these things that it's just. I think it's this rivalry in sports and stuff like that. When it comes to the rugby and stuff like that, it's. Oh, Jed, I'm English and hate the English. Once a Scottish guy said to me and my mate, but they were English. Do what?
What do you expect?
What do you expect? And me and my mate, both English, agreed with him. Maybe certain parts of England. But I think the reason why England is pretty shitty now is because there's a lot of parts of England getting taken over by fucking Islamics. In like Birmingham, like whites are a minority in Birmingham now.
Yeah.
And in London has got this trashy fucking street fucking accent, and even the white people are speaking like the fucking like the black people and shit, man. It's such a trashy fucking multicultural fucking shithole now, London. You've lost that Cockney. And the Londoners were Cockney, kind of like Cockney. I'm not even going to do the Cockney accent, but fucking Cockney, man. It's a cool accent, and you hardly hear it now. It's all this street fucking shit. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. You know what I mean? And just immigration is fucking wrecking like the language and accents and the culture in England. I think that's the problem that England has right now is immigration, and it's just fucking ruining their culture. A lot of English, if you ask them why they love England, they can't really give you a fucking reason why they like England nowadays. Like, what's so good about the English culture? They probably can't even tell you what they like.
There's so much of it. There's so much of it, though.
I like the English, man. I do, and I'm strange that way because one of my favorite, like, I'm obviously like my history. I like my kings and kind of the royal. I like looking at all that shit, the castles and stuff like that. And one of my favorite kings is King Edward Longshanks, who is known as the Hammer of the Scots because he was so brutal with the Scottish. But he was just doing what he was doing as a fucking king. You know what I mean? And the Scots were just getting led along like sheep by Normans anyway, like Bruce, like Robert the Bruce. Like we hold this guy up like he's the fucking savior of Scotland. He was fighting for the English, Robert the Bruce, in the wars of independence. A lot of Scots don't realise that Robert the Bruce was fighting for England. Like at the beginning of the wars of independence, he switched sides. Because it's a land grab. It was a land grab by the Normans. Bruce his dad was called de Brus. Anybody with de in their name was a Norman, and they came from France. You know what I mean? So they weren't even Scottish, the Bruces. A lot of people say, but they were. Bruce's dad married a Gaelic princess, and shut up. You know what I mean? They just wiggled their way in, kind of like they wiggled their way into fucking Scottish fucking royalty, but they weren't Scottish to begin with.
How much separation in time was there between the Normans and the Moors?
The Normans and the Moors?
Yeah.
They probably fucking existed at the same time to a certain degree, the Moors. Because the Moors fuck it. Actually, the Moors, I'm sure the Moors were existing during the 15th century and shit like that. And I think the Normans, they came over to Britain in 1066. So they probably existed at some point at the same time, the Moors and the Normans.
Do you think
the Moors were probably like Norman fucking Africans?
Yeah. Do you think the Moors are responsible for a lot of the mystery architecture in North America?
Nah, but what I do know that what they were responsible was for mass slavery. The Moors used to take Europeans to the Middle East as slaves.
Oh,
The
shit.
Moors in North Africa used to they used to go into Europe, take bunches of fucking Irish, Scots, Brits, fucking Europeans, and sell them over in the Middle East. I mean, that's probably how you've got this dilution over there. Like, holy shit, there's white people in the Middle East. They're probably the ancestors of fucking slaves that were taken over there fucking hundreds of years ago by the Moors.
I know that in India, the whiter you are, it's usually because of a social class, and they have like the
caste,
white
caste system.
I know, like in Mexico, the president and all those people are all white. They look like you and me, but they're like Mexicans. But obviously, they're fucking white, or 90% white or whatever.
Because the Spanish royalty because they're probably mostly Spanish, which means mostly European. Yeah. And mostly, and the Spanish royalty was all related to the Habsburgs and the over in Europe. They're all connected. The French, the Spanish, the English, the Scots, they're all connected eventually, through marriage. So, they were just, and they're just over there on the other continents. You know what I mean? Same with all the American presidents. And really, when you think about it, you could probably trace them back to royalty to some degree.
So the Moors were considered what we would consider black people.
Nah, man.
What are they?
They weren't black. They were North African. So if you look at the North Africans now, like Morocco, Tunisia, countries like that, they're not black.
They're like pale Arabs.
They're like Middle East. Aye, they're like Middle Eastern.
But pale Middle Easterners.
Aye.
Yeah, because real Middle Easterners have a orange and red color to them.
And a bit like you could probably say the last country that, because you've got the desert that separates them. People forget, like you've got North Africa, then underneath North Africa, it's a fucking desert. It's like a band that goes right across, and it's almost like a natural barrier that separates North and South Africa. And underneath that desert, you've got all the proper black people. I mean, so above the desert, it's like you've got the Colonel Gaddafi's in the world.
The Egyptian look.
Egyptian, aye, I suppose.
And Moroccan, that pale Arab.
Yeah.
They look different than people in Iraq and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Those people are like of a darker hue. And then in India, they get the people's skin gets even darker. And then in China, the people go lighter again.
To be honest, the way I think about it, if you go back far enough, there is only 3 fucking main races.
White, black, yellow?
The whites, the blacks, and the Asians. And then it's like a colour wheel. And it's like you've got the primary colours and you start mixing them up and you get different colours. I mean, so the way I look at like the Middle Eastern people, they're just a mixture of European and African, like black. Because there's a boxer over here called Kell Brook, and his mum's white and his dad's black, but he looks like you can put a turban on him. He looks like a Middle Eastern guy. You know what I mean? Or you could turn it more African looking or more white looking, but I think there's a point where you start just looking like a Middle Eastern. You know what I mean? So I think the Middle Easterns, and this includes Israel. Israel isn't the Jews aren't a proper race. I've said this for years, man. The Jews aren't a race.
It's a religion.
It's a religion. The Jews aren't a race. Like, I've got a haplogroup. Again, like, most people have got haplogroups from where they come from. If you go to Israel, it's all different. Like, most people in Scotland have got R1b. Most people in England have got R1a. Most people in Ireland have got R1b. But if you go to the Middle East, it's like fucking everything. So they've not got a proper haplogroup. They're just a mixture. It's like saying Brazil is a race. Brazilians are a race. Now they're a mixture between Europeans, the blacks, and the original Americans that were there, the fucking Indians. I mean, so they're not a race; they're just mongrels.
Do you think that Native North American and South American people all come basically from the Asians?
Well,
And then they were mixed with blacks who came over on boats.
They reckon the Native Americans came over the Bering Sea.
Yeah,
like 10,000 years ago or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the average Chinese person, and then you look at the average Eskimo, and then you take the Eskimo and you look at the Native North Americans, and then you take the Native North Americans and you look at Central Americans like Mexicans, and then South Americans, you can see that the evolution is the only word I can use there, but it's not evolution, but it's you can see the chain of custody, basically, the genetically.
Yeah.
And like Mexican people are typically at a certain height and have a certain hair color, and it's very similar to what Chinese people are, same certain height and certain hair color, and it's very consistent in their genetics. You know what I'm
saying? Mexicans are just mongrels. The proper Mexicans were the natives that lived there, kind of like the fucking Mayans. Well, you had the Incas, the Mayans, who were the other ones? The Incas, the Mayans. You had all these different South American fucking tribes. You know what I mean? They all probably came over from Asia at one point when there was a land.
Yeah, the entire native population of the Western Hemisphere was all Asian originally, or at least it was for a long time. You know, as far as the mainstream narrative goes,
even the way they lived came with their teepee. The natives had teepees. The Inuits have got fucking igloos or whatever it is. Can they live in even the way they lived was similar.
What about those crazy Aztec temples, though, with the stairs and the stars?
Even the Peruvian ones, they've got these walls in Peru, and they've got giant bricks that are like fucking, they must be like 40, 50 tons. And they've got walls built with these giant bricks. And the gap, like the shape of the bricks are like all different. There's like a jigsaw puzzle, but there's not one piece of mortar. They're all being carved to fit. They're like earthquake proof, and they're like fucking
they say people are saying that they were melted, that those were buildings that were melted, that the squares used to match up better, and they were melted by some powerful fucking weapon in the past.
I've got more tendency to believe that we're fucking.
They look like they're melted.
They probably had a secret tech, kind of like, or a way they could fucking. Because they found giant blocks getting been cut like lasers. Like fucking lasers have cut these fuckers.
Imagine those large blocks were perfect at one point and something melted them, which makes them like that look, that the Peruvian.
But they didn't look melted. It's like you could have an L-shape. It's like Tetris. And you've got an L-shaped block, and then you've got like a square block, and then you've got it's like if you were good at Tetris and you're using all these different shaped blocks, but fitting them perfectly into a grid. They didn't look melted into each other. They looked like they were just different shapes, but they carved. So if you had an L-shaped block, they would carve the next block to fit into the L kind of thing. But they reckon they done that because they were like earthquake proof. And if you just stack them like this behind me, if you just stack bricks up like that, when an earthquake happens, they just fall over because of the way they're stacked. But if they're connected like inside each other and fucking it's harder for these kind of walls to collapse because they're sort of like within each other kind of thing. They're not just stacked up. So they were way ahead of their time, man, with that shit, man. I didn't think it was all melted. There is certain stone, and even in Scotland, I can't remember what it's called. There's a word for it where there must have been a blast of heat. It's not petrify because that's what happens to fucking wood or some shit, but there's a word for it where stone gets melted to the point where it's like almost like crystal. You know what I mean? It's like VP is Polish because he looks like me. To be honest, see the Polish people over here didn't look like VB. There's lots of Polish in Scotland, and they're all sort of like dirty blonde hair, and they've got a sort of yellow complexion. Like I've got that sort of ruddy, should we say, look. Where the Polish haven't got the ruddy look, they've got that yellow.
I'm ruddy as fuck. I'm ruddy as fuck. Oh, you're talking about the ones over there.
Aye, so you didn't look Polish because you're ruddy.
Yeah.
Where the Polish over here are that pale way, but they've got that. They look like they've got jaundice. With the skin goes that yellow color, but they're white. Can that fucking? You can tell a Pole from a mile away in Scotland. You're like, fucking, that's a Polish dude. I mean, you can just tell the way they look. We used to have blonde hair, buddy. Look at my eyes. Look how dark they are. Like, I've got darker eyes than some fucking black people, man. Like, I've seen some black people in America that have got lighter eyes than me, man. You know what I mean? My eyes are super dark, but I think that comes from the old Indo-Europeans. You know what I mean? Like the ancient fucking Brits.
You says you're James Bond.
Who's James Bond?
You. That's what he's saying about you.
He's just saying he's James Bond.
He's talking about you.
Sean Connery.
Yeah. Sean Connery.
I remember I watched a thing the other day about Steven Seagal. You remember him? I think he was like Eastern European, mixed with some fucking... What was he mixed with again? He was like Eastern Europe. I think he's got Russian in him, and he's got some fucking something. But Sean Connery worked on a set with him, and apparently he broke Sean Connery's wrist. Because Sean Connery was trying to do some fucking... Steven Seagal went fucking broke his wrist. He was a total fraud, though, Steven Seagal. He was just a big bully because he was like 6'6" or something, man. He's a huge guy. So even if you've never done fucking martial arts, you can hurt people when you're that size. Get what I mean? It doesn't matter fucking if you've done martial arts or not. Just move your arm in someone's face and you're going to fucking knock them out. Yeah, maybe it's came out. Maybe I was thinking to myself, I've got the Anton LaVey thing going on here with the fucking thing. The Satanist.
I was gonna say that earlier. You're the red wall with the black. What is that necklace? What is on there? That's what I was gonna ask.
That's a Celtic cross, mate. So it's no a crucifix, but it's like a equal. It's an equal cross with four equal. It's a Celtic cross. So it's like a cross with a circle, and it's got all these Celtic fucking shit in the middle of it.
Is it for the seasons of 4 seasons of the year of the sun?
Aye. It's kind of like a. My son would fucking say it's a pagan fucking symbol, but I think it's original Christian symbol, man. That shit. I've got him one for his Christmas, but it's more of a crucifix style. Because he's writing he loves Jesus, man.
What do you got to say about this?
Funnily enough, the Habsburgs were definitely the dynasty that kickstarted all the genetic research and the earliest versions of IVF. They were the most inbred fucking family, I've got to say. The Habsburg jaw. Have you seen that? The fucking... the inbreeding, man. They all started looking all fucking weird. They all had... And there's some people in America that have got roots to the Habsburgs. And they've got that fucking jaw. I might have that jaw. I might be hiding it under my beard. Your boy's correct. It's a swastika.
I was going to put that up there. It's a swastika, of course.
Jimmy Hilchin. It's just my beard making it look that way, man. Stop being jealous. It's just a fucking kind of that's the thing. No, I suppose the Habsburgs did have the Jimmy Hill chin. I've not got the Jimmy Hill chin, man. It's fucking like it's weird when I do have a shave and you see my chin, man. I'm like, holy shit, I've got a chin.
He said, just braid the beard and they won't confuse you.
I wish I could. My missus only. See, when it starts getting to a certain length, my missus like, fucking Jed, you starting to look like a homeless guy. she makes me feel conscious about my beard, man. But if I could, I would just grow it out, man. If society would accept me that way, man, I'd just grow up like a big fucking Celtic warrior.
If you were a long distance truck driver, you could do it.
Aye.
You know, where you didn't have to see anybody and didn't have nobody to answer to. Nobody can stop you from doing it.
But it's usually ugly guys that grow big beards like that because they want to hide their face. Get what I mean? The Whitakers. Have you seen that? The Whitakers.
No.
Oh, have you never seen that, man? Oh, Search on YouTube the Whitakers. It's the most inbred family in America, man. They come from the Alopecia. Is it Alopecia? The mountain range?
Appalachia.
Appalachian mountain range. Oh my God, the Whitakers. One of them barks. Like this guy, he shits himself and he's covered in shit and all that. Oh my God, you need to watch the Whitakers, mate.
Okay, I think I've heard of that.
It's in America. There's no family like that in Britain, man. No fucking way. The Soft White Underbelly. Check that channel out. It's a guy that filmed this family called the Whitakers. Oh my God. But
Okay.
It is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing, mate. You need to watch that. The guy that barked like a dog. That was crazy. And I'm sure the guy's mum was also his fucking sister or some shit. Oh, fuck knows, man.
YouTube is reading my mind, bro. I would say if there was anyone else that was going to join tonight, the only person I'd let in here would be Tim Osman.
I'd love it if Tim showed up, man. I love Tim to death, man. He's to be honest, see, when I reminisce about all the time, or the good times we had, Tim's always there. You know what I mean? When I think back of the flat earth fucking laughs and things like that, you, Tim, Vlad. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
Oh, those were the days, man. I hated Tim Osman, but I first realised he's so. Tim came across as clever, but he's just as clever as everybody else, man. He's nothing above us or nothing below us. We're all just dudes trying to find shit out. You know what I mean?
Tim's classic, bro. You can't deny Tim Osman.
No, I never deny Tim, but I wouldn't think he's superior intellectual. You know what I mean? I would never look at him as a superior intellectual.
Take over first.
Super smart.
Well, he is super smart, though. But you got to take over for a second. I got to get a drink, and I'll be right back. I just got to get a drink.
But the thing is, see, when you argue against flat Earth, it's like low-hanging fruit in a way. You know what I mean? Well, it's not really, but the people he was debating with, and some of the people, you're like, fucking, these people are fucking idiots. You know what I mean? And it's not hard to look smart when you're arguing with a fucking fool sometimes. Especially when they didn't want to hear Tim's arguments and kick him off and people like, oh, Tim's a hacker and shit like that. But it was like these little loopholes in the fucking streams at first when you would get in and turn your stream off and shit like that. It was brilliant. I loved it. Like I said, I thought Tim was brilliant. I did. But I'd never seen him as an intellectual powerhouse or any shit like that. You know what I mean? Tim is like a middle ground kind of guy where he has such a level head, and that's what made. And he had a good temperament, Tim. He would never really lose his shit. That's what I liked about Tim too. Like, he never really lose his fucking shit, where a lot of people would. So that's what I liked about Tim as well. His temperament. He had a really good temperament. There's lots of other aspects of Tim that I thought he was superior in. Intelligence. I thought he was just like the average guy, like the rest of us. I didn't think he was like super educated. I don't think he ever got a diploma in anything. Like I've a degree or a diploma. Like I'm higher educated. I've got a degree in fucking graphic art design and media. You wouldn't think so because I'm can be a bit an idiot sometimes, but I've got higher education. He is a good guy. Tim is a good guy. Tim was brilliant. Like I said, he did bring another dynamic, and he brought something else, another dynamic to the argument. And the thing is, I thought after a while arguing with flat earthers it seemed like a foolish act on its own. Like, see Jeremy and all that, these idiots that are making fun of flat earthers, they're as foolish as the people they're making fun of. You know what I mean? Because they keep arguing against, and it's like, what's the saying? You can't argue with a fool. Something like that. And it's like, it doesn't matter how much you're trying to present evidence, or if they're stuck in their dogmatic ways, they're never going to change. You know what I mean? It's like, and the fact that these people couldn't see that these people would never change, makes you a bit an idiot. If you couldn't come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter how much evidence you present to these fucking people, they're never going to change their mind. You're the fucking idiot. So you should just call it quits sometimes. And I think Tim didn't know when to call it quits. And like I said, that made him just as average as the rest of us, because we were the same. We were keep arguing with the fuckers. I would do the same. I keep arguing with them, but I try and make it funny. And I try and make videos that would take the piss, like Bob Nodell, Jeranism. I'll try and add a wee bit of laughter to it, rather than being serious. Like, look at these and look at that. And I would add my own experiments and stuff, but I would always add something funny to it as well. Again, just to, rather than argue with these people, we can have a laugh at them as well. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of you are flat earthers still in the chat, and I'm not taking the piss at you. I really am. If you want to believe flat earth, believe it. That's the conclusion I came to. If people want to believe in the fucking flat earth, they can believe in it. What am I? Who am I to fucking change their mind? I'm no some fucking great scientist. And that's why I laugh at Jeremy and all these fucking nerds and their little fucking thing with. They think that they're some kind of fucking grand master fucking intellectuals, that they can change the minds of these people. They can't change the minds of these people. These people just love to be in certain groups. They love the culture of flat earth. Whether they believe in it or not, they love the culture of flat earth. It doesn't matter how much evidence you could present to them. And this is where I found that you could be a bit an idiot arguing against it. To argue against it was foolish. So this is the way I seen it eventually. Tim and Nathan had good banter. Nathan, God, he's another one. Fuck. That's the thing. See, when you listen to Dale sometimes, you're like, fucking hell, Dale. He's like, but the drag, the velocity, the buoyancy. And you're like, fucking Dale, you just sound like a really boring science teacher. Fucking hell, Dale. You could be a cool guy. You're sitting there with your skinhead, built like a brick shithouse. You probably got loads of other cool talents, like playing the guitar, motorbikes, fucking shit like that. Show us that shit, man. Stop sitting in your shed showing us fucking bottles falling into fucking balconies and shit and arguing with fucking ball earthers and shit. So I just thought both sides were foolish. Ball earth and flat earth. I thought fuck them both. You know what I mean? So I couldn't get liked on either side, because the ball earthers used to think I was like who was it? Jeremy and I thought I was a good laugh at times because I was slagging the flat earthers, but at the same time I was arguing against the moon landings and shit. So like I couldn't get accepted to either side, because I thought NASA was bullshit and I thought flat earth was bullshit. So I was stuck in the middle here. Like, nobody liked me. The flat earthers would never accept me because I was arguing against them. And the nerds would never accept me, like Jeremy and all the fuckers, because I didn't believe in the moon landings.
Because they want to suck NASA's fucking dick.
Oh, and do you know what's hilarious now? That they're so left wing and they're so like NASA orientated and SpaceX and that. And Elon Musk is now a Trump guy. And it's almost like broke their fucking hearts. Get what I mean? That
fucking what? Beautiful. Love
Elon
that
Musk,
shit.
Elon Musk is fucking with Trump. He's our hero. He's the fucking space guy. He's SpaceX. He's the Falcon and Falcon X. This rocket that can land on its fucking fuck off.
You know what? People are theorizing that is Project Bluebeam. That's all projections. It's all holograms.
It's all fake, man. It is probably holograms. Can all these fucking rocket launches, man. Right, I'm going for a quick slash.
OJ McBaggins. Everything on my Facebook feed is fake space junk. Yeah, fake and gay, right? Fake and gay. Hold on a second. What are we doing here? All the flat earthers say a 24-hour sun doesn't matter anymore. It's pretty funny to watch them all go to Antarctica. Jaren is the only one saying the 24-hour sun matters and is a major problem. We got to get Jed's take on this whole thing where they're supposedly fighting about who's going to go down to Antarctica or something like that. Jed, I remember the day I neglected you, even though I am still here now, when you said Earth is a globe because of shadows on the moon. What about that, Jed, when you said Earth's a globe because of shadows on the moon?
Well, it kind of, see, when I looked at the moon, the only way it could make sense was that the Earth was spherical. But
have you heard about Jaren going down to Antarctica or all these people fundraising and all that shit?
It's called The Final Experiment. There's this new channel, and he sounds like, remember the other Tim Osmond guy, the penguin guy?
Oh, yeah.
Remember him? Well, there's this new guy kicking about. He's called The Final Experiment. And he's offered fucking, like, money for people to go to fucking, is it Antarctica? Fuck knows, to watch the 24-hour sun, I think it is. So I'm still in touch. Like, I still watch bits and pieces. And this guy's, he's like I said, he sounds like Tim. He speaks like Tim Osmond, the other Tim Osmond. Will Duffy, is that his name? Why are you gay?
That's not the one out. Here's one. No. Hold on. These are all the wrong ones. It keeps moving on me.
The nigga looked crippled 8 years ago.
Nobody knows where they will be in Antarctica. They could be anywhere. Right?
They could be just fucking
on the edge of it.
Some shit. Some cold fucking country.
So
on you go, mate. So
would you drink this gray? This is cigarette ash water.
What is that? Apple juice or some shit?
No, it's just cigarette ashes in the water.
Nah, no way.
Yeah, it's my way of fasting. No, I'm just kidding.
What is it? It looks disgusting.
Yeah, it's water with these 0-calorie flavor squirts of different, and I got a bunch of different flavors, different fruits and stuff. And so it's mostly the lemonade flavor, and then I put a little tiny bit of grape in it.
Is it like electrolytes and shit?
Well, yeah. Or it's not that, but it's the same exact thing, but only just flavor. It's zero everything. I know it's got fucking deadly chemicals in it too, but
no, electrolytes are important, man. Like, especially in places like Florida where you sweat a lot and you could sweat out the electrolytes in your body. So it's good to keep that shit replenished. I understand that.
Well, what I'm drinking is water with 0-calorie water flavoring to it. That's all it is. It's not, and it doesn't got any like benefits or any vitamins or nothing. But they do sell that same stuff. It's just a lot more expensive.
All right. I've been having to drink protein shakes, man, like with milk, because I lost like 8 pounds when I was doing that fucking Royal Mail shit. Lost like 8 pounds because even though at my job beforehand I was doing a lot of physical activity, I was doing a lot of lifting and stairs and stuff like that. We'd always have a good lunch. So we'd sit and eat maybe fucking 1,500 calories, you know what I mean? Like a food, and then get back to our work. Where the Royal Mail, you never got a chance to stop. You were just fucking, just like, and when I come home, I'd be like fucking, and just lately I've been starting to put back on the weight again, but I'm still probably under what I was when I started the Royal Mail. And I lost a shitload of weight, man, and that's no good for me. Oh, yep. I seen Mark Sargent and fucking Patricia Steere on they're still kicking about on streams together.
How recently was this?
Oh, it was probably a couple of weeks ago. They fuckers are still at it, but I think they've went like incognito. They've tried to get away from like this fucking community. You know what I mean?
What the fuck are they talking about in their videos?
It's flat Earth again, but they're with totally different audience. You know what I mean? A totally different. They've tried to like sort of detach themselves from all the old fuckers, man, like us. Like, you can't even fight Patricia Steere anymore. I don't know if she's... I don't know even what the name of her new channel is, or if she's even got a channel. She just turns up on Hangouts now and fucking. But her and Sargent were on a fucking live stream. The Potato Crew, aye. God, how old is she now, eh? She must be like fucking 70 or some shit. Because we started this like I mean getting into the flat earth, was it 2014 or some shit, man, or 15, something like that, maybe a bit later, 16, no sure, but fucking it's probably like 10 years ago. And she was she was an older lady then.
She was nice. She was nice, man.
Her fanny must be like shriveling away, like.
Oh man, what's left of it?
You wanted to pound Patricia, eh?
No, that was you. No, it was Tim Osman. It was our Tim Osman.
I've got to say, she did add a little glamour to the fucking whole flat Earth, because there was a lot of trash amongst the flat Earthers, like a lot of trashy women. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say she was trashy, but like Rusted Soul, can like people like that, can that kind of lassie with like the fucking full arm tattoos and shit, and fucking they probably didn't shave their pubes and shit. You know what I mean? Like that kind of chick, where she was all like well kept and fucking quite glamorous. You can imagine Rusted Soul with a big fucking rusted fanny as well. Kind of
a rust bucket.
A rust bucket. But she was a nice girl, I suppose, Rusted Soul. But fucking that kind of chick, man, that hippie, smelly sort of type chick that probably still got hair under the armpits and shit. You know what I mean? What's
your take on this right here?
She spent 2 hours doing makeup, but it made a difference.
Talking about Patricia.
She was a good-looking woman, I've got to say. She was probably pretty fine when she was younger, you know what I mean? Or maybe she looked better when she was older, I don't know. And to be honest with you, Patricia was always nice to me. She was. I used to give her a lot of fucking shit, and I used to turn up on her chats, and she was always pretty nice to me. You know what I mean? She really didn't deserve the shit I gave her. Antonio's paintings still haunt me.
How about Nathan's dildo on the dresser?
I drew her, and her hips were like that. Fucking
daytime, nighttime.
That was sad shit, man, watching Antonio sort of deteriorate. His last sort of few months. Did you watch that guy? Antonio Superats? He started wearing all these bangles and fucking, it was a shame. When you think back, it's a fucking shame, man. You didn't want to see your fellow man kind of like, it was a fucking shame, man.
Yeah. It's sad, bro. It's been so many years, man. So many years we've been talking about.
When you're in a community like that for so long, there is going to be people that die. Simple as that. It's just like in your street. I mean, if you're in a street for 10 years, there's going to be a few people that die in that street. It's just the fucking odds. You know what I mean? And for some reason, the flat Earth, there's been a lot of fucking deaths, man. It's crazy. And I think it's this whole idea that they won't take medication, like normal, like if they get cancer and shit, they refuse to fucking take certain medications, and they think they can fucking weed will solve the day or some shit like that. They reject like modern fucking medicines and shit, man. Which, didn't get me wrong, it's not always a cure. They don't always cure you. If you're going to die cancer, you're probably going to die cancer either fucking way. And chemotherapy sometimes can be more painful. That's
what I've heard.
How you doing, Sonia? Good to see you. She's from my channel.
Nice. Well, we got to dazzle her with our amazing conversation. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I was talking about fucking, what was it, cancer and shit. You just found the same with Sheeps and Neeps. You watched them. Do you remember that guy, Sheeps and Neeps?
Yeah.
Scottish guy, and God, he was in the hospital and everything doing streams. And he was like, I'm rejecting the medicines and I'm going to go back to the weed, and you just slowly watch them fucking fade away. Yeah, it's a fucking shame, man. Like, I didn't wish that shit on anybody. Again, whether you're an opponent in the flat earth or no, man, I've never wished that on anybody, man.
I was never able to get the four horsemen of the flat earth world together, and it's you, me, Tim Osman, and John LeBon and shit.
John, I've just recently subscribed back. He's still making videos, man.
I know. He wants me to come on and do a LeBon's discussion with him, like a long 3-hour whatever deal.
Oh, do you know what fucked me off about him?
What?
He was trying to, what was it? One of his theories that there was never any war. There's never been a war. There's been no wars on this planet. It's all fake. World War II, World War One, fucking, it was all fake. It was all fraud. And it was, you're like, holy shit, there's still bombs sunk in this. You can actually go to some English coastlines where there's still fucking bombs lying on the fucking beach where you know that you fucking touch them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Blitz. What about the Blitz in London? Like my granny in Glasgow, because Glasgow was a place where they would fucking attack as well, because it had a massive. They would build the ships in Glasgow. The ships. There was a massive shipbuilding dock. The docks in Glasgow.
Military and just all the military ships?
Just any ships. Liverpool and Glasgow, they were like the main sort of docks and ports for ships, whether it was military or fucking
commercial, shipping.
Commercial, either just make ships there. So my granny used to stay in Glasgow when she was a kid, and they used to keep a penny. It was something to do with, like, if the Nazis invaded, they would it was to fucking set off the gas or some shit. They used to keep a penny above the gas meter or some shit like that. It was something to do with, but she can remember, like, huddling up with her fucking 10 brothers and sisters, because there was 10 of them in the family, in one little fucking flat in Glasgow. And when there was like explosions and fucking, and John LeBon's trying to say that shit never happened. And being Australian, maybe in his mind it never happened.
Well, is Australia even real?
Exactly. Are Australians even real?
Exactly. Barry Mansfield, I was just watching a clip of a Russian pilot being recovered from a 10-meter deep hole in the ground where he crashed his aircraft. His wallet was intact, including a picture of his GF.
I've seen shit like that, man, where there's like they go around digging shit up, like the old bunkers and shit like that, like the old trenches. The Russian soldiers were hiding in trenches, and some of these trenches got fucking bombed and they just got covered and buried. And now there's these metal detectorists and shit going around, like, digging them up, and they're finding, like, old weapons and wallets and fucking helmets and fucking... It's all... How can you deny there was wars? That is just one of the most stupid fucking... Like, John LeBon was a smart guy, so I never knew why he ran with the whole idea there was never been a war. There's never been a war.
He has enough substance in his theory, I think, to justify at least speculating on the idea and being open to it, not necessarily full on agreeing with it, because no one can prove if he's right or if he's wrong about there not ever being wars. You know what I mean? No one can prove that. That's the point, is that since it's kind of like a flat earth thing, almost. It's almost flat earth level. It's like, well, prove it. But you just stated a whole bunch of circumstantial evidence, possibly legitimate, 100% legitimate, verifiable evidence. So that would definitely.
Humans made weapons?
Huh?
Why have humans made weapons over the years? From basic swords to spears, right up to guns. Why have we made them?
Yeah.
To shoot cans? To hunt deer? Why have we made weapons?
And in at number 1.
Here we go.
Twitwit, who says John LeBon also believes seashells are man-made.
That's what I mean. Like, holy shit. That's even more ridiculous than the fucking... Like, do you know what? See, when John LeBon used to say that the Earth might not be spinning, and he used to show the evidence and shit like that for the Earth not rotating. I was like, holy shit, he could be right here. There could be a little fuck. He could be right. maybe the Earth isn't turning and everything else is moving around it. And I used to really respect JLB's opinion. I was like, holy shit, this guy's smart. But then he started coming out with shit like wars are never happened and shit like. I was like, nah, man, you're just a fucking idiot. Or he thinks we're idiots. One of the two.
Twitwit with a huge shout out to Schlumminger. Schlumminger. Am I saying that right, Jed, or is that wrong?
What, Schlumminger?
Yeah, is that the right way to say it?
I think it's the only way to say it, mate. Schlumminger.
Now, is that now? That's not the same thing as a minger.
A minger?
Yeah.
No, a minger.
Yeah. Okay.
Minger.
Okay. Good.
Schlumminger. A minger. A ginger ninja.
Here's what he says. You saying it perfectly. So be it then. Schlumminger. Schlumminger. So nice you got to say that shit twice.
What is that picture anyway? Is it like Abraham Lincoln or some shit? I'm sure there used to be a face on that.
It's like George Washington, maybe.
Am I having like a fucking Mandela effect here? I'm sure there used to be a face on that and now it's like pixelated.
Twitwit's a legend. Only second to you, Ute.
Twitwit would be better if you could come on some streams, man, and speak.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your opinion on all this stuff with the politics and anything you got to say about Donald Trump or any of that shit, Twitwit.
I'm sure she hates Donald Trump.
Bring it all in. We'll talk about it. You want the link, Twitwit? I'll give it to you if you want it. Only Twitwit or Tim Osmond would be allowed in this stream, period. Or if there was some miracle that would never happen, but if it was some miracle, Daniel Pratt would show up and want to come on the live stream.
No fucking way. That guy's a dick.
How would you go with Dan Pratt?
I love that guy, man. Why did you?
How would you go with Dan Pratt, Jed? How?
Oh my god, that guy's such a fucking dweeb. Well, he's
What
not
are
a
you
dweeb.
talking about?
He's not a dweeb because he's obviously a big dude. Again, he's not a dweeb, but I can remember that time he went on a Patricia Steers fucking thing and he had the fucking, was it a suit, and then he ripped it off and he had the fucking wife beater on underneath. It was just so corny, man. It felt like acted and you just felt like another fucking actor within the flat earth, eh? Dan Pratt. He was always begging as well, man. That was pathetic.
He's not begging for shit. Dan Pratt fucking rules, bro. You know Dan Pratt rules. If you actually just watch his shit.
Do you get what Pratt is?
Yeah, but if you actually watch his stuff, how do you deny any word that guy has ever said, man? It's all
shite.
It's 1,000% truth bomb after truth bomb forever and ever and ever for years and years and years and years.
Arsehole. He talked to his arsehole.
Dan Pratt is like half the reason flat Earth existing on YouTube, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Fuck off.
I'm telling you, bro. Dan Pratt is like Dan Pratt was
just a shiter version of Dell.
What?
He's like a cheap man's Dell. He was like a fucking bargain store Dell.
No. No. Dell came after Dan Pratt anyways. So
he probably did, but still, like Dell was a much fucking Dell's arguments were a lot better than fucking Dan Pratt's. And Dell never asked for fuck all. Dell wasn't like a fucking he never put his hand out for anything, Dell.
Neither did
Dan Pratt fucking was always begging for some shit and making
that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Dan Pratt was not always begging.
And he was always begging. Come on, guys. Can you remember in chat Dan Pratt begging for money all the time? It was fucking pathetic, man.
Nah, because he only ever asked for Christmas donations and he had receipts for every single one of them.
Oh, was he saying he was buying food or some shit?
Yeah, it was for food. It was food drives, and then he showed the video of him taking the food to the place and leaving it there, and then people being like, "Thank you, sir," and signing for it or whatever. So I mean, like you're just a hater. You're like it's like you got Dan Pratt derangement syndrome. Like that people have Trump derangement syndrome.
Maybe, but I never liked the guy. So fuck that. Never liked that man. Never liked that fucker.
OJ Big Baggins is so full of shit. He says that his begging was almost more guile level.
That's when you start.
We know that's bullshit.
It's hard to beat Morgile, like
and you could tell Morgile was on crack or some shit, man.
Fucking Morgile. Morgile was cool. You know, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, bro. In the beginning, when I first started getting into fucking flat Earth, bro, the first person I ever sent my shit to, my first video, I sent it in like how I sent you a thing today, like a mention of your name. I did that to fucking who's the guy, bro? David, fucking the Jewish guy, David Weiss.
And he's still going as well. He's still fucking going strong.
You know, and he totally had my back and promoted my video. And he's the person that gave me my initial boost of actual flat Earth and conspiracy subscribers was David Weiss. And then eventually I fucking turned my back on him like a little shitbag. You know what I'm saying? But
you know what? He never bothered me that much, to be honest with you. I didn't mind David Weiss.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that he was mad at me for saying something, or if he started it with me, or if I started it with him, or if I started some shit with Patricia, therefore he was like on her side, therefore he didn't like me anymore. I don't remember exactly what it was, but eventually the tables turned, and I didn't mean to, but it's like I used him and other people on my way up, and I was on like Jaronism, you know. But it got to me where I had over 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. Was that the goal all along? Did I sell out? Is VB like a sellout from day one? Or because I didn't want to do a heel turn, a fucking double cross on fucking David Weiss or on Patricia or Mark Sargent or Jaron or all them people. I didn't want to do that, but I just did. It just happened. So, but why did it happen? I don't think I was being evil. Something must have triggered it.
You could have been part of the furniture, man, but I think you were just too fucking un-PC. You weren't politically correct enough. These people could actually go through a stream without swearing or cursing, or I mean, they were a clean cut, like Mark Sargent, Patricia Steer, David Weiss. They could go through a whole stream without saying anything really that controversial apart from flat Earth. Like you would start going on about fucking the feminist stuff and fucking you did go on about the feminist stuff, and I thought it was a bit much. But see when I see the adverts and all the fucking shit now, I think was VB right, and he just could see into the future, kind of like this feminist fucking crap.
I mean, it's heavily influenced by people I've seen talking about this shit. But I mean.
What was that movement called? What was that movement called? Men Going Their Own Way or MGTOW? That was it. Men Going Their Own Way.
It's still
that's so gay.
Oh, yeah.
That's so gay. It's like fucking male feminists, man. It's fucking pathetic.
It's not though.
Patricia was so plastic. She was quite plastic. She was. She looked like she'd melt under a strong sunshine. What does Twitwit look like under that mask? Is she still wearing? Is nobody told Twitwit that COVID's finished now? She can take the mask off because she got pretty eyes, eh? But she looked like a fucking. Did she look like a mutt underneath that or something?
She got Predator. Remember Predator? With like bloody fucking steel teeth and octopus suction cups and shit.
Does she just keep that mask on to trigger people that were anti-vaccine and shit like that?
Yep.
I never got a vaccine, man. I was against fucking the vaccine, like definitely. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I never got it.
My missus didn't even get it, and she was a nurse.
That's fucking hardcore, bro. She's tough.
Oh no. Because I was like fucking, I stood firm. I was like, my kids aren't getting it. I'm not getting it. And until they dragged me kicking and screaming, because the thing is, a lot of people just volunteered to get it.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, if you're just volunteering, if anything goes wrong, it's your own fault. But if they make you go, and if something happens to you, at least you can sue the fuckers for it. Because they fucking made you do it. You know what I mean? That's the way I've seen it.
Check this out. Twitwit said BB thinks traffic cones are a conspiracy. And Barry Mansfield said making things inconvenient for drivers probably is a government conspiracy and injustice. So they get, I don't know if you know about it, Barry Mansfield, but I got a video called "Traffic Jams Are a Hoax." It's one of my most successful videos. It's a classic.
True. It's true. See, in Britain, man, right? The roadwork companies get a set amount of money each year. So just say the roadworks, they get 60 million a year. See if they don't make 60 million the next again year, the budget goes down. So they just start digging holes fucking everywhere just to get the money up. So they get the same amount of money the next again year. So they just start digging holes and putting temporary traffic lights fucking everywhere. So we have got queues everywhere for no fucking reason. So there's some truth to the whole. It's not a hoax, but they're deliberately making traffic queues for some fucking reason. I think it maybe uses more fuel. When we've got the traffic dragging around slowly everywhere, it consumes more fuel.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole bunch of people getting a payout from that whole situation.
Definitely. So they're not genuine. A lot of these roadworks aren't genuine. They were fucking deliberately fucking, and they're just digging holes anywhere just to make the money up so they get the budget, the same budget. Nora, the fuck is that? Brenda, who are these people?
Matt Boylan's wife, Twitwit. Whoever the fuck Twitwit is, I never heard of her. Is that a woman? Channel Q, that Sunny Peaches 77. Remember her? And she had that guy that came and met her. She was like a blonde girl, and she was like kind of like a hippie.
She was quite pretty, yeah. She was quite she was quite pretty, yeah.
And then she had a whole video where she went on the date with the guy who came to see her. He like flew in to see her, and she videotaped the entire date. And then they ended up being a couple. And then there was some weird shit where he broke up with her, and she was running for her life. And then somebody had that whole set of live streams where they were like stalking her, like Jake the asshole.
Did she know a kid as well?
Yeah, and Jake the asshole and the other guy were stalking her and like trying to expose that she was on the run and saying that she was missing and all this shit when she really was actually trying to hide from maybe that guy that she had gone on that date with in that video or something like that. I don't know.
She was pretty hot as well, got to say. She's one of the more attractive sort of females within the community.
Glenn from Canada's wife.
There's a lot of fucking conspiracies that's a dude. I've heard a lot of people saying that that's a dude because Glenn's still in other communities. He's still trolling hard on other communities.
Oh,
other
really?
Communities. Oh, aye, Glenn's. There's a British lassie there. She's called Bunny. What's it called? Something Bunny. Bunny, something to do with Bunny. And anyway, fucking, it's like a truther community again where she tries to expose the news and stuff like that. I think her and Glenn got quite close, and then there was a big argument, and then he started trolling her hard and exposing her, and apparently she was fucking talking sexual and fucking secret chats, and he's exposing the chats, and fucking, he's like, aye, Glenn's still going hard. He's obsessed. When Glenn gets his fucking talons into you, man, I mean, he gets obsessed. He's got stalker syndrome or some shit, man. He just gets fucking attached to you. He got a bit like that with me. And when you don't do what he wants you to do, he gets all fucking butthurt as well. He's fucking one of these guys, man.
Is that image really even Twit? I think it is because I've seen her before.
She's got nice eyes.
I've seen her before. I know that that's her. But underneath there, it's like, you ever seen Mortal Kombat?
Aye.
You know Melina? Melina, Joe?
With the teeth. I'm going to be... I think I'm going to be watching some UFC later. There's Ian Gary's fighting... What's his name? Some fucking Kazakhstanian guy. I think that could be on it, maybe 3 or 4.
Wow, live.
The UFC. I've got the Fire Stick and the old fucking the cheating stick. You get all the channels for nothing. You get the UFC, you get the fucking all the pay-per-views, man, for fuck all.
For free?
For free. You need to pay some guy who like does it for you.
Wow.
But I got all the big boxing matches, all the UFC for free. You just pay a one-time sort of payment to this guy who he fuck knows how he does it, but it's obviously some kind of hack.
Wow. And it's like just feeds into your internet, like as if you're a paying customer and shit.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Every channel you can think of, every channel, including I didn't watch porn, but if you watch porn, there's about 50 porn channels as well. But I'm too old for that shit, man. I'm too old for porn.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't feel. I feel like fucking. I feel dirty, and like I feel ashamed of myself if I fucking go that way. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, Jed, you're getting a bit old for that shit.
Yeah. P. Mars wanted to marry Twitwit.
Oh, P. Mars, man, where the fuck's he nowadays? He's still kicking it in, but I think he's like in the Discord. He's more to do with the Discord channels now. So I think he jumps about all the Christian fucking. I'm not sure if it's Christian Discord fucking stuff. I like P. Mars. He was a smart dude, man. Maybe on the spectrum a wee bit as well.
Yeah. My woman says I'm on the fucking spectrum.
I think we're all on the fucking spectrum to some degree. But it's P. Mars Morgile level, bro. Thing is, I remember when Morgile was, I didn't know if he was ever clean, but he used to sound like he knew what he was talking about for a wee while, Morgile.
Yeah.
He did. He sounded like a smart dude, like with his faculties sort of about him. But then I mind watching a stream, he was like fucking like pure living in his car and fucking begging for fucking money and shit, man. It was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. Felt sorry for him a bit, like.
And his girl and all that shit.
Oh, she looked like fuck. Oh, she looked like shit as well, man. Oh, disgusting. Total crackhead.
Waking up with that nasty mouth in your face.
Oh, imagine her breath, man.
Crack breath, meth breath. From eating fucking half-eaten fucking slices of fucking pizza dough and shit that's in a dumpster and shit.
I could just imagine them raking a dumpster for some food. I could.
That's cruel, though. We shouldn't make fun of people for that shit if you're that desperate. But if it's because you're a fucking meth head and you're just an asshole and you can't control your fucking meth addiction and shit, or your crack addiction and shit.
Mm-hmm. And he would beg for money to buy more. And there's definitely that's where the money was going. And I don't understand why people just kept giving him money. It was fucking ridiculous.
Is fentanyl bad over in Scotland?
Nah, but I think it's just starting to leak its way in. I think some shit for China's coming in. But nah, you didn't see these fucking zombies like pretending they're looking in bags and shit. That's what I noticed with this fentanyl stuff, man. People are all hunched over and it looks like they're doing something, but they're not. Like, but they're just, fuck knows what it's such a strange thing, man. Fentanyl. Never seen anything like that, man. Like heroin's always been a problem in Scotland. Heroin and cocaine as well. Heroin and cocaine, always a problem. But there's the fentanyl stuff, man. Methadone's quite bad here. But that's government supplied shit.
But that's what you're supposed to take after you kick heroin.
Yeah. So there was a famous picture that went viral over here on Facebook and that. But when you go and collect your methadone, you only get one fucking bottle of it. You know what I mean? And you're not meant to get any more. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of overdoses. But this woman dropped a bottle outside, and instead of going back to get more because she knew she couldn't, she got on her hands and knees, and there was a famous picture of her like sucking it off the ground, and her kid was standing watching her, like an 8-year-old kid standing beside her, like looking down at her, like on her hands and knees, sucking this shit up off the ground. Aye, it was disgusting, man. Train spotting, aye. The heroin was quite bad here, like for a small country, man. They tried to fucking ruin us, man, with that shit. Burniston. Nah, I've not seen Burniston. Burnistown? Nah, never heard that.
YouTube thinks he's more Scottish than you are.
YouTube. He's 50 and looks 40, and she's 50 and looks 70. How you more Scottish than me, YouTube?
No, I just made that up.
I've watched YouTube stream. He's getting English as fuck, man, on his wee bike cycling down the street. You never watched a YouTube stream?
I think so, yeah.
He used to do cycle streams where he used to cycle around.
Yeah. Why don't he just get on camera and sit down and just fucking rant just like you and I do?
I know. He's never had the balls to sort of come on a fucking stream, I don't think, and speak.
What? So are you more of a cricket guy or more of a footy guy?
Cricket? Fuck up. Nobody watches cricket in Scotland, man.
Oh, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Like,
I guess that's like an English thing.
That's a very English thing.
Okay.
Football's a big thing up here, man.
Yeah.
Footy. And then after footy, it's probably rugby.
Is your football team doing good right now, or in the next season?
Nah, near the bottom of the league.
Oh, why?
Because they're shite. Because they're just shite. Aye, they're just the players aren't fucking playing. We've got good players and stuff like that, and they're just not fucking. They're just lazy, man. I don't know, again.
Barry Mansfield says Scotland has a national cricket.
They do, but fucking they don't come close to like England, Australia, even Pakistan. Pakistan's got an amazing cricket team. Compared to Scotland, they would fucking annihilate us every day of the week.
I watch cricket highlights on YouTube sometimes, man.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm weird, bro. I'm weird. I watch women's track and field. I love women.
I understand that.
They're fucking badass, man. Those women are fucking serious, real deal. I just love it, bro. I don't know why. I just fucking love the shit out of that, man. And I watch all the highlights of every NFL football game. I watched the whole fucking entire Olympics, basically. Everything except the swimming and diving. I don't care about the swimming and diving, but I watched everything else. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so think about it, man. Think about being able to run that fucking fast, right? Wouldn't that be badass?
I recently watched a Scottish lassie beat like 3 Kenyans.
Really?
Like, holy shit! You're like, there was. They all broke away from it. I think it was like a 400. Was that 400 meter or maybe 800?
It must be a long distance race.
It was a long distance. I can't remember what kind of race it was, but you had the big, massive Scottish lassie and blonde hair, looking Scottish as fuck. You had these wee Kenyans, and she got in front of. There was 3 Kenyans that were like kind of leading the pack, and she got in front of 2 of them, and she sort of side by side with one of them, and then fucking the last maybe couple of 100 meters, she just fucking takes off, man. She's fucking away. You're like, holy shit! I've never seen a Scottish lassie beat. I've never seen a British person beat fucking Kenyans on a long distance run. But I'll need to send you that video, man. But it was like, holy shit, she's fucking got her thinking of a wee snorty cocaine or some shit, man. But she was fucking away.
I just think no, I do not watch golf. But I just think that foot racing, like especially the short, the 100, 200, 400, 400 hurdles, 200 hurdles, 110 hurdles. I think that's like one of the purest forms of human athleticism that you can get. That's like the most raw, like sport right there, right? When you say,
What's crazy about it is it's just hundredth of a second difference.
Yeah, and it's like, so you can either go head to head, which is wrestling, and it's athlete versus athlete, which is fighting or wrestling or boxing, with basically any of that, or you can race side by side, or then you could do other events side by side, and who does a better pole vault, who does a better long distance jump, whatever. But like, it's either fighting or racing. Those are the two. Wrestling and running are the original sports, right? Wouldn't you say? Because one speed and one is strength.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
so I just love speed, and there's just so much more fucking drama with the women, bro. The women, because they're all most of them are very respectful and like, speak very white and shit. No matter what ethnicity, what country they come from, they're all very like poised and shit. Every once in a while you get a couple like ghetto trashy girls, but even that girl now, Sha'Carri Richardson, is starting to behave more classy and realizing that there's a lot of money and a lot of pride and shit and all this, and a lot of like records and world records and shit. So she's starting to act more respectful. But there's people that dominate. The women are just more powerful because more interesting things can happen. When the men race, they just all blast off, and then there's like two guys at the head of it, and it's just over. But the women, bro, they cry and shit. Like there's all this fucking drama. There are all these fucking feelings and shit.
It's crazy because between the men and the women, it still is only hundredth of a second in the 100 meters. What's the record? Like just under 10 seconds, like 9 point fucking something.
Yeah, it's 9 something for both.
But it's like hundredth of a second. Again, it's.
I think a man has gone into the high eights.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It takes like years and years just to knock a couple of like hundredth of a second off each sort of Olympics or whatever it is.
And the women right now seem to have been around a little bit longer than the current crop of men. There's like a new crop of men that are coming in brand new. And the women that you see like Gabby Thomas and all these other ones, they've been around for like the last they've been back in Tokyo 2012. So they've been around at least since then, if not before that, some of them. Because the women just in the speed racing females just seem to have a slightly longer endurance and career. So they have a lot more records, a lot more drama. A lot more fucking, and then the young and up and coming girls can come beat them. This bitch fucking Sha'Carri Richardson, have you seen her? She's like super ghetto. She talks all like ghetto-y.
No, but I think most of those girls, like when you see the Olympics, like, and you see the American team come out and they come out with their fucking, it just looks with their fucking wig, like they look so fucking, they look like they look so street, you know what I mean, as well. And just their swagger.
Yeah. That's the same word for what I mean by ghetto. Yeah.
Aye. Yeah. They've always been like that, I think. Like since I was younger, I can always remember the Americans always standing out, being in sort of a flashy way.
Yeah, street and ghetto, they don't necessarily imply dirty or like unhygienic. They just represent a style that's like very, I guess, swagger. But some people would say trashy, but only on the grounds of that it's so obnoxious. Not that it's dirty looking or trash, like garbage looking, but that it's so obnoxious that it's like trashy,
But mate, they're African. Well, they're usually African genetics. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're no true Americans. And same with the Brits. Again, it's all the black guys and the black girls that are the fastest. Again, they're the best runners. That's why I was surprised to see the Scottish lassie who was fucking white blonde hair and fucking beating the Kenyans. Like, holy shit, this is unusual.
What about that woman who got arrested for weed in the WNBA in Russia? She a dude faux show.
Arrested for weed. Okay, what advantage would weed give you in fucking basketball?
Nothing. It was women's basketball. So she would go have her little fucking basketball game and then sit in the hotel room and smoke weed all night. And then the government traded the Lord of War back to get her back. And her name was Brittany Griner.
I can't remember that, man.
So
anyway, mate, that's 3 a.m. I'm going to fucking... You guys asking me something there. Sorry, man.
Did you ever get around to watching the highlight of Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul?
Never watched it, mate.
Even the 5-minute condensed highlight?
Never watched it.
Well, okay, fine.
I'm going to watch the UFC, though, because it's Ian Gary against, I think it's Kamzat, or fucking, it's one of these fucking, I think it's Uzbekistan or some shit. He's one of these sort of, He looks hard as fuck anyway. And Ian Gary's like Irish. Everyone hates him because he's a bit of a cuck and a bit of a simp for his woman. But and she's older and shit. She's like 40-year-old and he's like 25 or 20. So, everyone takes a piss at him, but they're calling him the next Conor McGregor just because he's Irish. You know what I mean? But
how tall is he?
He's the same as me. He's actually nearly the exact same dimensions as me. He's like 6'3", 170 pounds, welterweight.
His opponent is probably the same.
He's the same. So tall, slim.
What division is that?
That's welterweight. But in boxing, it would be middleweight. But in the UFC, they've got different weight divisions. So 170 pounds is like, in boxing, 170 pounds a middleweight, or even a super middleweight. But in UFC, you're at a welterweight. You have to be 185 pounds to be a middleweight in UFC. But in 185 pounds in boxing would be like a light heavyweight. So they've got funny weight categories, but the boxing have done that because you don't have to cut. There's not as much weight cutting,
which is dangerous.
Fighters, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because fighters are trying to cut weight and to fight at lower divisions and shit like that. Where the boxing have got more increments of weight, and it's. But like I said, mate, I'm going to fuck off and watch a wee bit UFC before, because that's 3 a.m. here. And I'll probably watch an hour of the UFC or some shit and hit the sack. And I've got to empty my shed in the morning because I'm getting a new decking built. Some guys are turning up in the morning to build some decking in my garden, so I need to empty my shed and that's going to be early in the morning, maybe 7, 8 o'clock. So fucking hell, man, I'm going to be like a few hours sleep.
You need to do. Are you going to give your viewers some fucking time-lapse construction documentation of the visual documentation of the deck?
It's if they want to see other guys doing it, because it's not me that's doing it. I've paid some guys to come and do it.
Basically, I'm saying we want to see it when it's done.
Aye. Oh, you should see what I've already had done, man. I've got spotlights in the ground and in the decking, but there's lights in the fucking decking. It's so cool. I've got a heater, so I can stand outside and get fucking heat. Oh, it's amazing, mate.
A back deck?
What's that? A back deck? What's that?
Like the back side of the house?
Aye.
Okay, yeah.
Aye. Oh, it's nice, man. It's nice. I'll show you when it's finished, man. Right, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been an honor. Oh, kind sir. Kind fucking Scottish son of a bitch.
Fuck you, you Polish cunt.
Yeah. With posh fucking Polish cunt.
Aye, but it's been good, man. Good laugh. And if you need me and to ever come up to be a guest again, I'd love it, man. I love spending time with you, man. Good talks. And because I can't really get these conversations with people in my real world, to be honest with you. Even my miss rolls her eyes at me with some shit. Oh, fucking, here we go again. But you listen, man. So thanks for having me.
Yep. It's been an honor, bro.
Right. And everybody in the chat that came over from my channel, thanks for coming, guys, and supporting us. Love yous all. Shalom Agar, OJ McBaggins, Sonia, everybody in there. I'll give you YouTube. All of yous. Love yous. Bye.
Later. Later, all you little motherfuck faces. Yeah, so at one point we had well over 20 viewers in here. And it was nothing but good times. And I heard, well, I was going to talk about other news, but what's the point? I think we've concluded. We've gone over 3 hours. It's been nice having all you guys in here. Let's see. Schlominger. Sonia White, thanks for joining. OJ McBaggins. YouTube. Twitwit. Wow. YouTube, you contribute so much. Barry Mansfield. Making things inconvenient for drivers probably is a government conspiracy in a general sense, yes. So many others. Flat Earth Dave. Pull over. Thanks for joining. Morbidly saw a UFO a couple nights ago. I remember Dan Pratt, but not me. Yeah, that whole thing Jed was talking about was complete bullshit. Okay. Daniel Pratt, go subscribe. He's kind of a YouTube hero for Validation Boy, and everybody knows it. He's kind of an icon and a legend in the mind of BB. Take that how you will. I really don't give a damn what y'all think. We had GED Skeptic Media. Me and GED Skeptic Media go back for so many fucking years now. It's going to be fun listening back to this show because it was both of us from the get, right out of the gate, if you will. As always, praise Jesus Christ for all the blessings we're given in our lives. Humble yourself and realize you ain't shit, just like the rest of us. You ain't shit. This has been Validation Boy live stream, December 7th, 2024, with guest GED Skeptic Media, straight out of Scotland. Straight out of motherfucking Scotland. And we were also joined by Ed. Don't forget, he was in there too.